What's up, dudes? It's a Vigorous Q&A again on a Saturday. Well, for me, it's Sunday, but for you guys, it's probably Saturday. All right, so a couple updates first. We did the Chase Irons podcast. That was a great success. A lot of views, a lot of positive responses. The shorts, though, on YouTube or on Instagram, a lot of hate about Chase's planned 5-gram cycle. But I think a lot of people didn't really understand what the gist was all about because they didn't watch the podcast. So before you judge, watch the podcast first. And all the titling is clickbait titling to rack in those views. It was a great podcast with Chase, so give it a watch if you haven't watched it yet. I'll link it down below just in case you missed it. It was the latest video because I was too busy with the hCG video, which still is not done. I'm 1 hour in. I probably have to record another 20 minutes of content and then trim it down. So do a little prayer for me. It should be done next week. All right, let me link the Chase Irons podcast down below. Oh, that's cap lock. Chase Irons podcast. Next week will be a collab with Paul Barnett on this YouTube channel. Already recorded, will drop on Monday. And we also recorded with Kurt Havens and Dr. Dean St. Mart another episode of the Anabolic Roundtable that will drop the week after that. So on Monday, July the 1st, will be Paul Barnett. And then July the 8th will be the Anabolic Roundtable. So the hCG video will drop after that, and I'm done with the Nandrolone, what is it called? The script, basically. All of the research I've already done for the Nandrolone video, but that will probably take me a couple days to record. And then my editor goes on holiday, so it might take a little bit longer than expected before the Nandrolone video drops. I'll try to make some easy content in the meantime. Okay, guys, if you were still on the fence about scheduling a consultation, a 1-hour consultation that is, I am about to hit a very major financial milestone. By July 1st, but I'm about 2 consultations off. So I'm going to give you guys the incentive to schedule a 1-hour consultation by offering 20-minute extension for free. That's worth $540, or let's say another 30% discount on a 1-hour and 20-minute consultation. You can split that up into a 1-hour consultation and a 20-minute consultation, or 2 40-minute consultations. It doesn't really matter when you take it. It can be the next week, or a month from now, or 6 months from now. It will be valid when you buy it. It'll be valid until you use it. But I would like to get at least 2 consultations before the end of the month so I can close the month off with a new all-time high, basically. So the discounts are already on the site right now. They will be valid until July the 1st. And then I'm going to take that offline because I'm sure there will be 2 guys or maybe more guys that will schedule a 1-hour consultation and then use that at their own leisure, right? Well, when scheduling permits, obviously, because I am going to Dubai and Holland in, let's say, 10 days from now. So, but I will still be available for consultations. Unfortunately, with my line of work, the work never ends, even when you go on holiday. So, the discount is now live. I'll link that down below directly as well, in case you don't want to go through the shop. Let me see, where's the consultations link? All right, here. There it is. Not this one, this one. 1-hour consultation gets 20 minutes for free until July the 1st. All right, link is down below. That's 2024, not 2025. I'll give you guys some incentive to help me close off this month super duper good. All right, let's get started with the questions. Scrolling up all the way. James B., do you think 6 foot, 200 pounds, 10% body fat is achievable naturally? Thank you. My highly sexual uncle, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty doable. I mean, if you're tall, 6 feet, then 200 pounds is mostly bones. And, well, at 10% body fat, obviously you're going to be shredded. I think it's pretty doable. I'd have to look at the charts of what is considered to be achievable maximally. Maybe we can Google that real quick. Charts, natural physique, max calculator. How to calculate your... Oh, it's from Menno Henselmans. He's got a calculator for that. Natural muscular potential. And we're going to go with inches and pounds. Male. Current body fat 10. 10. Feet 6 feet 0 inches. 200 pounds. Waist circumference, I don't know, let's say 34 inches. Ankle circumference. Jeez, there's so many questions. I don't know what my ankle circumference is. That's big, bro. All right, never mind. I'm sure there's some easier calculator, but I don't know where it is. FFMY calculator. 6 feet 1, 200 pounds. Oh, that's a fat-free mass. Well, never mind. I can't find the calculator for easy use, but personally, I think it's accomplishable. I mean, I was 200 pounds at 5'9", but I was on hCG monotherapy after decades of steroid use, so at least it's sustainable after a couple years on performance-enhancing drugs and then coming off. But I think it's achievable natural. Yeah. No, when you're taller, you're heavier. Iron Grid, man, I seriously hope that we get Steve and Roman and Evan Centopani podcast. I just seriously cannot fucking wait. Yeah, so we'll record it after my holiday sometime in July. Even if Evan podcast got 46,000 views, imagine the trio. Holy shit, it'll be a goddamn legendary. Yes, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm slowly starting to rank in the questions, and I'll pass that through Evan and Roman for their approval, and then we'll get the show started, bro. Should be a lot of fun. Roman already contacted me like, hey, when is the next podcast? I said, do you want to be on with Evan? He's like, yeah, of course. And then Evan was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. But we can't do it too early because you need to create artificial demand. Because if I drop it next week and the Evan Centopani podcast is fresh in your memory, then you might not be very interested. So we're going to wait until July. Yeah. Danny Boy, can't wait for the next Anabolic Roundtable with Sir Lancelot, Merlin, and yet... to have another cool name. Yeah, we got to come up with a cool name for Dr. Dean, because Dr. Dean was not sure what his Anabolic Roundtable name, based on, what is it called, King Arthur Legends, is going to be. Maybe it can be Merlin #2. I mean, those guys are too smart for their own good. Anxious Cowboy, seconding Iron Grid's comment. Yes, stay tuned, guys, stay tuned. Let me see, a couple more member questions. What would be the best way to transition to hCG monotherapy from hCG monotherapy to TRT? And I forgot which video you mentioned it, but what is the shelf life of hCG after mixing it? 5,000 IUs, 6,500 IUs seems like a lot. Yeah, so regarding the mixing, it's usually 2 weeks with bacteriostatic water. With sterile water, it might be 2 or 3 days. And normal saline solution, it's about 5 to 7 days. And it highly depends if you removed the vacuum from the hCG vial after reconstituting the liquid, obviously, because in the air, there might be some pollutants or contaminants which will denature the proteins of the hCG peptide chain. So you notice that after 2 weeks, with bacteriostatic water, that the potency might come down a little bit. And guys that wait, let's say 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 60 days, right, 2 months after reconstitution, that after a while that their hCG doesn't really work and their dicks and their ball is kind of floppy and nothing is really working as it's supposed to be. So I would recommend everybody to stick with recombinant hCG in the form of Merck Ovitrel. And then you don't have to worry about it because those pens or syringes are self-sealing. And then as soon as you inject something, just like Norditropin or Genotropin, the plunger goes down and there's no air in the liquid. So it doesn't denature due to contaminants because no air is entering into the solution. So this is the way I would go with. And if you want to transition from hCG monotherapy to TRT, I would just stop the hCG monotherapy and start with your TRT protocol, whether that's 50 milligrams testosterone NF8 Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or something along the sorts. And then give that 4 weeks without hCG monotherapy or without hCG, so you can kind of see where your testosterone and estradiol levels end up, and if you see a decline in DHEA sulfate levels, for example. And then reintroduce the hCG at 250 IUs in between your testosterone injections 3 times per week. So you have testosterone 50 milligrams, 250 IUs hCG, testosterone, hCG, and then on Sunday, we rest, right? Like a nice biblical rest day, or Monday if you are Muslim. Is it Monday? I thought it was Monday. I was Friday. Man, I forget. Monday or Friday. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the YouTube chat. So anyway, so this is how you transition. It's pretty straightforward. You stop the hCG, you go into TRT, and then you reintroduce the hCG at a low and effective dose of 250 IUs 3 times per week. Anxious Cowboy also asked, I meant to say a few weeks ago, I think they call you uncle because it's a sign of wise elder respect. An uncle has vast wisdom that can be a mentor. Daddy is just a popular fuckboy term. Yeah, but I like it when my wife calls me daddy. But maybe it should be reserved for my wife, and you guys can call me uncle. Here in Asia, an uncle is like an old pervert dude. Like you have uncle fans in Korea, which are the old dudes that are considered over 35 years old. They're still following K-pop. So I'm definitely an uncle fan. Um, yeah, so when they say uncle, I always am a little bit offended. But after 18 years in Asia, maybe it's different terminology, right? So you can call me Uncle Steve. I should just deal with it. Arian, hey everybody. Any thoughts on Infrajet? It's supposed to be similar to Increlex. Never heard of that. Infrajet. IGF-1. He said, man, it even looks like Increlex, the box. But is it pharmaceutical? That's the question. Insulin like growth factor 1. Never heard of it. What is the manufacturer? Medical quality IGF-1. Interesting. Well, you run it for a while and then let us know the results. I never heard of this. Amstel Pharma, but it could be just something underground. They only have GH and GFA. Or IGF-1 and GFA. Well, never heard of it, but there could be some potential there. Yeah. All right. Logan, $10 super chat. And here's the question. Ran both 19-hour testosterone derivatives solo, no issue, Trenbolone and Deca. Ran them together once and got slight gyno. Yes. Yes, you put Tren and Deca together, or Tren and Treadmill, or Deca and Treadmill together, and that's gyno in 1 or 2 injections. Years later, now tried a low-dose Tren again, had immediate flare-up of the gyno, I'm assuming. Blood's done, estradiol and prolactin was normal. Thoughts? It could be simply progestogenic signaling in the gynecomastia, which was already there. And that's basically the same thing that I had. I added in 25 milligrams of Trenbolone. My estradiol was high because the Trenbolone was detecting as estradiol. My prolactin was absolutely normal. But the progestogenic signaling from such a low dose of Trenbolone just exacerbated the gyno, which was already there. Like right now, I've been off the Tren for touching my nipple on camera again. Can't fucking stop, dude. What a cam show. So now I've been off the Tren for 4, 5, 6 weeks. And it's basically the exact same size as it was before. But when I was running the Trenbolone, right, with testosterone and Anavar, it blew up. And it was sticking out of my shirt. And I became incredibly self-conscious, but not so self-conscious to the point that I needed to tape it or run to the gynecomastia surgeon to get it removed. But I was like, man, this kind of sucks. Is it going to stay? But now it has dissipated, and I didn't even use roloxifene or Nolvadex to get it done. So I just stopped the Tren. Estradiol levels came back down to normal ranges. So that was at the top of the normal reference range, 44.1 picograms per milliliter. So that's 0.1 over the reference range. Super physiological. Great. And the gyno has subsided. On the left side, it's identical as it was before, and on the right side is identical as it was before. So I need to train up a little bit harder than last time if I want this gyno to grow, for the gynecomastia surgeon to remove everything when I do schedule a gynecomastia surgery. Surgery. Yeah. All right. So many similar words. All right, so member questions. Downsize asks, does cardio from MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu sparring conditions the heart the same way as it does with traditional cardio like treadmill or elliptical, or does the muscle use fatigue limit the benefit on the heart? I mean, it's more like high-intensity interval training, right? So, I mean, of course, with MMA or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you don't really get a rest because you always have to go unless the round is over. And those rounds are what, 2 or 3 minutes long, and then you get a minute rest, give or take, which is completely, it's brutal compared to high intensity interval training. That's like a 30-second all out and then 1 minute rest. So it's significantly shorter than a bout of sparring. Now, it kind of depends on how hard you're sparring, right? If there's some rolling on the floor, which allows you to rest, but then you have to grapple quite hard. Yeah. I don't know. I would say that that's also conditioning the heart, man. And assuming you're not taking a boatload of stimulants like clenbuterol or Adderall or ephedrine or whatever, I would say that it's good for your cardiovascular endurance nonetheless. I mean, all those guys, they also do long distance running, for example, just like the boxers, right? They do a little bit of running in the morning, whether that's on the treadmill, elliptical, or just running outside. It all has to do with conditioning. So the more cardio you do, the better your MMA and BJJ performance should be. And of course, if you go all out on your sparring sessions, that will be the true test of your stamina. So I would say that that's still fucking good for your heart. Would I be able to do it? No. No. No, I do my daily fasted cardio on the elliptical, but if I were to find myself in the ring, I'd probably get fucked hard, and not in a good way, unfortunately. Biscup asks, pulling the trigger on a fast, what's your reference or preference nowadays between a complete water fast, salad supplement fast? Have you switched to a salad fast completely? I usually do the salad fast still with supplements because I've done a full fasting and I've done just with supplements, and I've done it with salad and supplements. And I feel that fat loss is pretty much the same. Intestinal health and detoxification is pretty much the same. So I'd rather eat the salad and take a little bit of supplements because I noticed that if I don't take the supplement, I get very electrolyte depleted. Right? Then you can take the snake water, snake oil juice, or snake juice, whatever it's called, with sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium. But I'd rather just supplement with that and get my sodium and potassium from the salad that I'm eating. It's filled with olives and filled with pickles and just cucumbers and stuff for the potassium. And I feel that my electrolyte balance is more sustained. And then coming out of this fast, my strength doesn't really drop. Whereas if I do a full fast, I'm so depleted from an electrolyte perspective, even if I drink the snake juice, that my workout performance is just shit the week after. And the fat loss is the same and the detoxification is the same. The blood work parameters are exactly the same regarding the decline rate, the improvement of blood work parameters, whether I take supplements or not, or if I full fast or not, or if I take salad or not, or combine the salad with the supplements. The blood work changes are pretty much the same. If anything, the salad and the supplements consisting of TATCA, NAC, etc., it might improve your blood work parameters more because you have some fiber to bind, or the bile acids can now bind to the fiber from the salad. And the TATCA, of course, is promoting bile acid excretion, and this is how you're getting all of these toxins out of your body. So this is the preferred way for me. I get about, 500 calories, maybe 300 calories from the salad. It's really negligible. And of course, I still do my cardio. I still do train some abs. I still, do my walking and, the chores around the house. It's not that I'm completely immobile. So that going from 2,800 calories to 300 calories, a steep reduction. If you throw the kitchen sink at it, the fat burners, clenbuterol, 5-amino-1-MQ, ribosine, growth hormone, all that shit. It's like a transformation overnight. Biscup also asks, how about sauerkraut on the salad fast? Go for it. You get sodium, fiber, probiotics, fuck all calories. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it, man. Go for it. Very diluted psyllium husk fiber. You can do that at the end of the day. So if you have salad and sauerkraut over the day, at the end of the day, you'll have, or you can have, what is it called? Senna tea, and then you mix in, so you have 2 bags of Senna tea, you let that sit for about 20 minutes, and then you mix in a psyllium husk, and then you basically have a plunger, because the Senna tea prevents water from being absorbed. It's like a mild herbal laxative, and then the fiber kind of acts as literally as a plunger through your colon and just sucks everything through. So I usually do that on the last day, and then you literally lay a brick, which you would expect to be light brown, but it's almost black. It's nasty. Could be the olives though. And then you finish it off with hydrotherapy. You get the colonic with coffee, and then you try to hold that in as long as possible, and then you feel really clean and rejuvenated. Yeah, it's probably not so good for your gut microbiome, but if you eat a lot of probiotic foods, then it will replenish really, really fast also. Dubster Buster asks, I am going to have my GH and IGF-1 measured. My endocrinologist says that in the morning after resting 30 minutes. How do I prepare to get the lowest possible levels? I'm a type 1 diabetic and taking insulin plus metformin. Okay, so keep dosing the metformin at 2,000 milligrams per day. Take berberine, 500 milligrams morning and evening, and 300 milligrams curcumin C3 complex twice per day with your berberine, because curcumin C3 complex, berberine, and metformin crushes your IGF-1 levels. And then skip the melatonin, skip the particular amino acids, which I discuss in the growth hormone how to improve your growth hormone levels. What is it called? Growth hormone. There you go. The Maximize Your Growth Hormone Secretagogue cheat sheet. That's the one. I get a video on that. Should be my slogan, somebody said. This in the title also. Get those sales going. Oh, until is with one L. Oops. Oops. Where were we? Oh, yeah. So I listed down below. So there you can see everything that is known to improve growth hormone levels. So avoid all of that at the days leading into your blood work results. And then maybe you can get some growth hormone prescribed, bro. I hope you make it work. Morphix asks, hey, Steve, my old man became weak. His joints always in pain, and he became to shrink in size. I'm thinking to give him some performance-enhancing drugs, but which is better, nandrolone or testosterone? How do you recommend a certain dose? I can't just recommend your old man something over a vigorous Q&A question. I would advise you to do blood work with your old man and then schedule a consultation, or have his blood work reviewed by an endocrinologist so he can come up with a suitable solution, right? Because if he's weak, then what is the underlying problem? All right? That needs to be addressed first before you start putting him on TRT and nandrolone, because maybe his body is too weak to deal with it. So do some blood work, do some organ imaging, and then you can take it from there. You can either take it from there with me through a consultation, or with an endocrinologist or somebody else that you believe in that is suitable to help your father. But over a question like this, I can't really give you an answer, unfortunately. Dumpster Buster asks, hey, coach, is there a plausible connection between 20 milligrams Anavar pre-workout and feeling lethargic and fatigue? For the first time in my life, I have bad sessions I did not manage to complete. Well, if you're trying to bring your IGF-1 levels down, then maybe it's the reduction in IGF-1 and megadosing metformin. Or your Anavar is actually Winstrol, and that's giving you a lethargy and fatigue. That is a very common side effect of Anavar at 20 milligrams per day or over that you feel fucking lethargic or fatigued after every set. That's what I get. You get a killer set, great fucking strength, and then as soon as the set is over, you're like, oh, I feel fucking tired. Maybe that's also because you take Winstrol at the end of a contest prep or diet, and then you're already pretty depleted. So maybe that's it. Let's see. And the day after the workout in the morning, I fell asleep in my chair when I got home. Yeah, maybe you just need to take a week off from the gym and then take the Anavar out and then see what's going on. Which could be Winstrol. Lethal Promotions asked, hey, Steve, I've been running your full mitochondrial support stack for about 12 months with no break. Do you see any issues doing this long term, and would you advise a break? I feel great, and my quarterly blood work is always pretty good. Thanks, as always. No, man, I've been running something similar for years now. So I don't see a reason to stop. NAD Plus, if you can afford it, just run it the entire time. I stopped it a while back, and then I felt that my sleep quality was coming down a little bit, but then I introduced the growth hormone at 10 IUs per day. Now my sleep quality is great again, but growth hormone every day or NAD Plus once per week, that's what is more expensive. Let me have a look. Seven. NAD Plus is more expensive. Yeah, I'm about half the price right now in my 10 IUs growth hormone per day. So I'm sleeping like a fucking baby. That's for sure. No, but I would say that it's pretty sustainable if you keep the dosages low. If you're on, what is called methylene blue, and you're blasting that over 10 milligrams per day, then your hematocrit might come down quite significantly, especially if you do 25 milligrams or 100 milligrams. And then your hematocrit is like 37 by the end of it. So 4 milligrams, okay, 5 milligrams, okay, but not over 10. NMN or NR, I think that's very sustainable. I mean, it's just a refined B vitamin after all. Yeah, MOTS-C, I mean, after a while, it starts to get a little bit of annoying to get those allergic responses, even if you do it intramuscularly. That's a bit annoying. So this is one of the reasons why I stopped with MOTS-C. And 5-amino-1-MQ, even though that doesn't really have to do with the mitochondria, it does work synergistically with NAD+. I think you can run that at the end of a dieting phase when you're like below 8%, 6% body fat. I haven't used it yet, but I will throw it in when I feel that the fat loss is no longer going well. Andrew Gallardi asks, hey, Steve, I'm drinking a lot of whole milk. I was going to say water, but whole milk. 1 to 2 liters per day. I get my calories in. Is there any long-term health concern? Blood work is perfect. You might get a fuckload of pimples, and you might give yourself lactose intolerance. But hey, if it works, man. Personally, I wouldn't do it. My skin would be so oily. If there were, the casino bread, like the white bread that's like squared, I would be able to just butter my bread with my face. Just and I put some, some cheese on it, and I put some ham on it, and then make a ham cheese sandwich with the butter that came off of my face because I drink so much fucking milk. Nasty. Yeah. And my palms would be greasy also. So no, if it works for you, great, but it wouldn't work for me. And I think for a large portion of the people watching, it would not work. Whole gallon of milk per day. That's an old school diet. Whole gallon of milk and the Anavar. I do have so many pimples. Jay Rodino asks, hey, Steve, is there a real androgen receptor upregulation by using L-carnitine? Maybe. So if you read that 1 or 2 studies where androgen receptor content upregulated in the presence of L-carnitine, oral L-carnitine L-tartrate, then the subjects were also training. So if you watch the androgen receptor video, I'll link it. Androgen receptor, I didn't really discuss that. I just indexed it with the other studies, but you can follow the citations there. And in that study, or in both studies, one of them is available, one is not. At least in the study that's available, the subjects were also training, and training is known to increase androgen receptor content of skeletal muscle quite dramatically. So, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have to take it, right? L-carnitine also helps with cognition and fat loss. I take it year round, injectable L-carnitine, that is, and works great, man. All right, let's see. Oh, man. How far behind am I? I'm always like hours behind. So if you see your question and you're like, why the fuck wasn't it answered yet? It's because I am 30 minutes behind. My bad. RNR, relaxation and rest. Or rest and relaxation, that's the one. Thoughts on Behrouz Tabani versus Nathan Yash at the Flex Pro. I thought Nathan was going to win, but he showed up a little bit watery. And I didn't realize that Nathan Yash was beat last competition in this, in this competition between Behrouz and Nathan, that Behrouz also won. So good to see Behrouz win. Like last week, it was a little bit of a toss-up. I felt that Behrouz was very, very good over William Bonac. But, William Bonac is hard dense. He was nicely peeled. And even though some body parts were maybe a little bit off, overall was enough to win. And hopefully he can pro for the Mr. Olympia, because he probably really tried to bring in the condition. And now that he has that nice condition, he can kind of fill out for the Mr. Olympia. So Behrouz... will he get a visa for the United States? That remains to be seen, and that's the same case for Nathan the Ashes. So I think Nathan is doing a show 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now. I'm not sure if Behrouz is doing it. I don't really keep track of these IFBB shows anymore. Honestly, it's getting kind of boring. I follow the Mr. Olympia and the Arnold Classic and the rest. It's just I'll hear it after the job is done and then look at the pictures. I don't really get excited anymore. I've seen too many shows. So hopefully Nathan can win that show, and then both of them can fight it out with USA Immigration, whether they get a visa or not. That remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. Let's see. Daniel Vasquez. Should I get my testosterone tested before or after my daily administration? If you do daily administration, then it doesn't really matter, right? I would just pin it and go. Or you can do it before you pin, then you have the lowest reading of the day. But even if you inject, it takes a couple hours before it reaches peak serum concentration. So I've done it before and after, and it might be a difference of 100 nanograms per deciliter. It doesn't really matter. Whatever is convenient for you. Yeah, whatever's convenient. Brendan Biggers. Steve, I'm very grateful for everything you do for the community. Much love from Florida. My pleasure, buddy. I will come back to Florida when Universal Studios epic universe is completed. Can't wait to join in on the fun. Yeah, hopefully I can bring some kids. Screaming in my ear. I want to go to the mummy ride. Dakota Johnson. If I'm having erection issues, should I take a low-dose aromatase inhibitor and get blood work, or should I just wait it out and get blood work first? Get blood work first, because you don't know what's going on. Is your estrogen too high? Is your estrogen too low? Is your prolactin too high? Maybe your sexual binding globulin levels are low, and maybe your blood work is perfectly fine, and the erection problems have nothing to do with your blood work results. It could be a mental thing. Maybe you're masturbating too much. Maybe you're watching too much porn. Maybe you're just fucking tired. Maybe you don't have respect and love and appreciation for your partner anymore. Maybe you need a break. Maybe you need to go on holiday. Maybe you need to stop working for a month, right? It could be so many things that could be wrong with your dick. But it's important to do blood work first before you throw the kitchen sink at it. So Dakota, take this to heart. And get your blood work done at Merrick Health. If you live in the United States, discount code VIGOROUS for 10% off. Yeah, everybody loves a discount, bro. Tycho, how do you manage your cycle when you go on vacation? Have a great vacation, by the way. I know a guy every place that I go. So my cycle will be a sea cycle diet. Right? I see sea gear diet. So on Sunday I have a seafood diet. I seafood, then I eat it. If the food looks appealing. And on holiday, you call your bro and you're like, hey, bro, what are you going to stock? He's like, I got a couple ampules of test and primo. How many do you need? And then you'll give him the answer, right? You bring him a gift or a reach around, whatever he prefers. Whatever you got to do, man. Whatever you got to fucking do. So I'm sure I'll manage. You know, it's the same with the United States. As soon as I announce that I go to the United States, I have 20 guys in my inbox. Hey, what do you need? I don't even need to ask. So last year, obviously, I didn't need anything, even though I was able to get some growth hormone, some hCG, and some retrotritides posted to me or handed to me. Thank God for all guys who contributed. And this year, when I go to the United States, I fly into Las Vegas. I'm sure I'll get my bag searched, and I'm like, didn't bring anything. You know, search it all. Check my shoes, check my toiletries. I didn't bring anything. And then as soon as I step in the gym, all shall be revealed. So, and of course, if you fly to countries where it's not really a big deal, you just bring enough for personal use. So if you go somewhere where, you know, you go there for a week, you bring 1 ampule of test or 2 ampules of test, right? It's not a big deal, man. But it highly depends on the country. I have a video about this, traveling with gear. It's very YouTube unfriendly. But hey, we're just going to leave it up. Just going to leave it up, bro. Alexander Carrera, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Thoughts on testosterone propionate for women? Having a hard time finding a clinic that provides low-dose testosterone cypionate. 2 years ago, I had a prescription, 25 milligrams per week of testosterone cypionate. Test levels were too high. Sign up with Merrick Health. They might be able to compound you a very low dose of, let's say, 2 milligrams or 10 milligrams per milliliter, because they also work with females, even though men is mostly their specialty. There's several patient care coordinators and healthcare providers who can help you with that, assuming that your testosterone levels are low and you're qualified for prescription, obviously. But I know that their compounding pharmacy can make very low dose testosterone on certain circumstances. And testosterone propionate, it doesn't really matter, right? If you go make it yourself, you get a pharmaceutical testosterone anticypionate or propionate, and you dilute that with a USP grade carrier oil that you can buy on Amazon, and then you run all of that through a Wattman filter. You know, I know many guys that can't get compounded testosterone for their wives through a healthcare provider, through a TRT clinic. And they make it themselves. You know, you get 1 ampule of testosterone enanthate, 250 milligrams for 1 milliliter. If it's overfilled, then you obviously get a little bit more. And then you add in the 10 milliliters of grapeseed oil, and now you have 25 milligrams for 1 milliliter. Then it makes it very easy to inject 2 milligrams subcutaneously 3 times per week, because it's only 0.8 or 0.1 milliliters or 10 IUs, 8 IUs on the insulin syringe, right? So there are ways, but sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands and become a home brewer. which is not very difficult. You can sign up to Chase Iron's membership site and learn all about homebrewing yourself there for what is it, $50. And I think within 2 months of membership, so that's $100 that you're spending. And then the rest is just sourcing issues, which I'm sure Chase can also help you with. Guys, it started to rain. It is Thailand. So if my audio sounds a little bit off or the internet goes out because my electricity shuts down, then I guess I will be back when the internet comes back on. All right. Where are we? Eugario. Enclomiphene is an hCG substitute. No. Afraid of desensitization. Doesn't occur. Watch the hCG deep dive video. It will drop next week. There's no signs of desensitization, even at 5,000 IUs 3 times a week alongside TRT. Still fucking works. If you take progestogenic 19-testosterone derivatives, there might be some downregulation or desensitization through unknown pathways, but I couldn't find any scientific evidence to support that. So hCG will work. hCG will work as long as you keep reconstituting the vials or you stick with recombinant hCG. Clomiphene sucks. Clomid sucks for long-term use. It's not healthy. IGF-1 levels go down, ocular changes, mood disturbances, the risk of blood clots. Man, I don't understand why people would even want to risk it. So you have on one side desensitization. Oh, it stops working. Big fucking deal. You go on TRT. Oh, I have a blood clot and I'm going to die. Well, at least the people that love you will take care of you afterwards. If you want to run in clomiphene for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, cool. But not longer than that, man. What about intermittent use of hCG and clomiphene? Stop reinventing the wheel. Eric, $5. Oh, I don't see a question. Oh, here. Hey, Steve, how do you prevent left ventricular wall thickening after having used PEDs while on TRT plus, and how to reverse it? Thanks. Well, there might not be a way to prevent it unless you control your blood pressure, obviously, with Nebivolol, telmisartan, or another blood pressure medication. You don't train fucking hard, and you check in your genetic makeup if left ventricular hypertrophy is part of other members of your family that have not taken PEDs, then PEDs might make it worse. And if you want to reverse it, well, besides blood pressure management and daily fasted cardio or daily cardio in general, to kind of remodel your heart for more towards an endurance perspective, coming off cycle has worked for many a bodybuilder. Yeah, just come off. It might take 6 months to 1 year, but your heart will shrink and the left ventricular hypertrophy will go away. Ooh, that's some serious rain. Well, I'm just going to have to shout. All right, where are we? Hopefully this CRISPR AI will not let you guys hear it. Here we are. Matthew Gregg, when you took amoxapine, did you quit carnitine? No, amoxapine works well with carnitine. It's the meldronate that doesn't work well with carnitine. Amoxapine, I think, stimulates glucose oxidation and carnitine fatty acid oxidation. Yeah, but it doesn't prevent fatty acid oxidation, so you can still take it together. Right? Meldronate, meldonium shifts glucose oxidation or shifts shifts energy production to glucose predominantly because it inhibits carnitine synthesis, and it would kind of defeat the purpose to take carnitine, which then would make meldronate basically less effective because you're trying to shift the glucose by inhibiting the production of carnitine, but you're still taking carnitine. Right? So what is your body to do? So with amoxapine, it doesn't really matter, but with meldronate, I would avoid it. Yeah, well, if you take cardarine, then carnitine is definitely advised. Yeah. Please consider Acarbose 50 milligrams before high carb meals, especially on your cheat days, to minimize the impact. The side effects are heavily overstated. I never really looked into Acarbose, but my cheat meals are not really high in carbs. It's just, I eat a hamburger, maybe some pancakes with a little bit of syrup. That's what, 100 carbs. I have some berberine in the morning. My insulin sensitivity is great. I'm taking 10 IUs growth hormone before bed. My fasting glucose levels are 68 to 72 milligrams per deciliter. So personally, I'm not worried. But if you're worried, yeah, take some more Acarbose, man. Take some metformin, right? If you really abuse the carbs. I don't really need a lot of carbs to fill out, dude. I haven't had carbs all week. I'm fucking full as a house. I'm full as a house, you know? So, well, that's probably the GH, right? But I will skip the GH tomorrow. Caden Olson. Hey, Steve. My blood work while on Primo and Anavar at the end of 16 weeks. Estradiol 36.1 picograms per milliliter. Prolactin 11.9 nanomoles per liter. Picomoles per liter. I know it's within normal parameters. A couple of months later, my estrogen is 72 and my prolactin is 26. Back on TRT cruise. Normal rebound at aromasin. Yeah, it could just be that you're aromatizing more and that the Primo was preventing the aromatization while you were taking it. And then after taking it out, after let's say 4 to 6 weeks, it's completely metabolized. And now your estrogen just goes up. It could be a rebound by increasing aromatase enzyme expression, or this was just going to be your normal number on TRT because your body fat levels are high, or you're not doing daily microadministrations, which you should be doing, right? Reduce your body fat and do daily microadministrations. And then until that time, add in aromasin, 12.5 milligrams Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would say, and then recheck 4 weeks into it and then see where your estrogen levels are at to see if you need to make some adjustments and reduce the AI or increase the AI. Can I build muscles fasting while on training? No, you still need amino acids. Come on, you know the answer to this. Thomas Gillespie, 2A is growth hormone to TRT, generic from a very reputable supplier. Day 2, flu symptoms, headache, flushing, muscle cramps, elevated blood pressure, etc. Day 6, symptoms remain. Advised to mitigate sides. Take it out. Why would you suffer through this if you're getting terrible side effects? Find a different source. Find a different source. It's generic. You don't know what's in it. I mean, of course, I'm using Underground Lab, which is basically generic, but at least it's presented in pre-constituted pens. So it's a little bit more effort than Chinese generics. This is come from India. So, and I did my blood work on it on 3.3 I used, and I got back 13.3 nanograms per milliliter. And on 10 IUs intermuscularly about 2.5 to 3 hours before checking blood work, it was 36 nanograms per milliliter. So I stocked up. Yeah, good shit. And I have no side effects, besides maybe a little bit of appetite suppression, which is a warm welcome when you're trying to diet. So if the symptoms remain for a week, take it out, man. Take it out. Why would you suffer through it? It's not going to go away. Sounds like impurities to me. Find pharmaceutical. Kiv Tier, not a question. Just wanted to say your channel has helped me immensely, helped me learn how to take care of my body and never been healthier. Fuck yeah, dudes. That's what I love to hear. This is why we do it. So everybody can make better decisions regarding their PED journey and stay healthy in the process and having fun taking all these drugs and getting great results. Because in the end, it's a joke and we're supposed to have fun, right? We're supposed to have fun doing all this shit to their body and not make our health go to shit in the process, obviously. Have you ever heard of anybody getting cancer while taking Carnitine in real life? No, I've heard guys getting cancer from growth hormone, but they were all Australians and they were all heavily in the sun. And I think the growth hormone just accelerated the skin cancer or whatever cancer they had, right? So I would do my cancer marker screening every year, especially as you get older. I've never heard anybody in the fitness industry get cancer from Carnitine or TB500, BPC157, or most of the growth-promoting peptides that we take, even growth hormone secretagogues. But yes, I've heard cases where cancer was progressing rapidly in people who used growth hormone, and most of them were tanning quite heavily. So be forewarned. Pasted 2 questions. Yeah, it helps if you super chat and put it in the same question. Hey Steve, started 250 milligrams test in February, was already on finasteride every day, started shedding hair in May, starting and thought DHT was high, got it checked, it's 892 picograms per milliliter, so hopped on dutasteride for finasteride every day. And now it's still in this June, I'm shedding daily, my crown, don't know if this is usually periodic finasteride, dutasteride shedding, because Jesus Christ, learn how to fucking write this out, man. It's like sometimes, why are you rambling, man? Why are you rambling? I also switched from 5% to 10% minoxidil in the insights. Please learn how to read this out so it sounds a little bit easier. And I don't know, man. if your DHT levels are still high on finasteride every day, then maybe your finasteride is too high, or maybe you need to just restart, come off the TRT, do nandrolone only to keep hormone levels going for a while, and figure out your hair loss prevention protocol with minoxidil and topical dutasteride, and then see if that mitigates it. Because I don't know your state of health. Your name might imply that you're from India or Bangladesh or whatever. And vegans are just, if you're a vegan, then I mean, there's no hope, man. It's micronutrient deficiency galore. Right? I'm just speculating here, but that could be an overlapping thing. Maybe you're stressed out of your mind. Maybe the water that you're showering is fucking dirty. Maybe your hygiene is not up to par. There's so many things that play into hair loss. It's not just the drugs. But if you feel that it's the drugs, then take all the drugs out, get back to baseline, and figure out your hair loss protocol from a different perspective. Because if you're on 250 tests, maybe that's just too high. Maybe you need half. Maybe you need nandrolone only. And take the finasteride and dutasteride out and switch to minoxidil, ketoconazole, and topical dutasteride to get that resolved. So please, man, learn how to ask these questions because it's exhausting. Iron Grid, moving out again on 15th with my brother. Can't fucking wait for a new chapter in life. I can't lie. All right. Good luck. Good luck. Don't turn life into a big orgy. Now that your parents are not around. All right. Moderation. Raising 3 boys. Does Mastrone or Primo alter total testosterone levels in a way on a blood test? It might detect this total testosterone, and it might lower your estradiol levels. Right? Sensitive testing will obviously tell you what the actual testosterone is. Liquid chromatography, tandem mass spectrometry. That's the way to get an accurate reading of your total testosterone, free testosterone, bioavailable testosterone. But yeah, maybe Mastrone Primo might detect as testosterone. Maybe it detects as DHT. Trenbolone definitely detects as estradiol. And you're like, why is my estradiol so high? That's the Trenbolone, baby. Does curcumin block DHT? Not that I'm aware. Curcumin blocks DHT. Oh, all right. I got the first. Curcumin lowers DHT levels by blocking the action of 5-alpha reductase enzymes. All right. Well, I guess it does. I take curcumin every day. My DHT levels are sky fucking high. So, guess it doesn't work for me. Igor Nerves. I'm going to use DECA only supplementing E2 and hCG. I was going to use telmisartan to protect the heart, but I read that it can cause lung cancer. Is it still worth to use it? I've never read that about telmisartan, but if you read that, then maybe that's a risk. But a lot of things can cause lung cancer, So, yeah, smoking cigarettes, growth hormone. Well, it can cause it, but it can accelerate it. So, living in toxic environments, right? I've never heard of that before, but if you're worried, then don't take it. Use Nibivolol or something else to control your blood pressure. Maybe valsartan, right? Call the sartan. There's so many blood pressure medications that that can help. Best advice for lowering hemoglobin A1C, fasting glucose, general advice, no specific case or factors. Lowering your carb intake. Daily fasted cardio, berberine, low glycemic index foods, ketogenic diet. No, man, I follow the lifestyle. My fasting glucose levels are never elevated. Never. Even after Sunday when I eat like a fucking pig. Or if I eat like a fucking pig. I eat quite moderate on Sunday. But I think the only time my fasting glucose was elevated and my hemoglobin A1C was off was after 1 month in the United States. That food is too good to put down, man. Yeah. That was the only time both of those were off. So live the lifestyle and shut the fuck up. Every time I see hemoglobin A1C or fasting glucose elevated, I'm like, dude, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Everybody knows the secret. Cardio, healthy eating, and a little bit of supplements to keep everything under control. So, Steve, why you're not bloated on cycle? I eat healthy. Steve, why you're not bloated on 10? I use a growth hormone. It's fake. No, I eat healthy. I drink a lot of water. My electrolyte intake is the same. I do my daily fasted cardio. Right? It's so many things. So many things you can just prevent by Just living the lifestyle. Tycho, how do you keep reconstituting the same bottle of hCG? I just started in 1,000 IU vial and hope it'll make it last at least a month. So you might be able to freeze your hCG. Right? At least I discussed that in the hCG deep dive also. The structure of hCG makes it hydrophobic on the inside, but lipophilic on the outside. So water can't enter the subunit in between the subunits and tear the subunits apart because it's hydrophobic. So the water sits on the outside, and when the water freezes, technically the hCG should stay in the same 3D structural space. And in the lyophilization process, basically the hCG might be frozen as well, although I can't find any clear evidence. I'm not entirely sure how the manufacturing works, but lyophilization of growth hormone and hCG and other lyophilized products, basically they squirt water with hCG into the vial and then under vacuum, and then as the water evaporates, it's frozen and extracted. So you would assume that everything freezes to minus Celsius, whatever. But then the water is extracted, so the water isn't present. But I've heard many guys freeze their hCG at 250 IUs to 500 IU servings in insulin syringes, and they thought when they need it, you keep it in your hand for 5 minutes and it's thawed, and you inject it and it works. It shows up on blood work at the exact same amount. So I discuss all of that in the hCG deep dive also. Losing my voice. I recorded for 2.5 hours and then I had 2 hours of consultation. And I trained. Yeah, it makes me lose my voice the most. Iron Grid, you're good, Steve. All right. Oh, thanks for the affirmation. Steve, you're good. You're a good person, Steve. You're good. That's probably about to rain. Hemoglobin A1C 5.2, glucose 76, insulin 0.6. What explains? I don't know. Without knowing anything about your diet, I have fucking no idea, man. I have fucking no idea. Heart is a muscle. You should also train it to. I know a couple guys who should train their hearts to failure. Yeah. Not naming any names, but I would love to take them through a workout where their hearts reaches failure. Yeah. Yeah. At least get a little bit of necrotic tissue, you know? So the whole day you're like, oh, I feel off. I need to lay down. Oh, it stings. Heart is a muscle. You should train it to fail. Good one, Igor. You made me lol. Henry Lamb. Any locations or names for the best surgeon hospital for gyno? I don't know, where the fuck do you live? So go to Google and ask there. A visible lower body fat percentage at like 11% might get it removed. Point us in the right direction. I mean, there are gyno surgeons worldwide. What kind of question is this? There's gyno surgeons worldwide. You go to Google, you type in gynecomastia surgeon in your area, and you read the reviews. And otherwise, ask around in your local gym. You know, go ask the bodybuilders and said, "Hey, did you have gyno surgery? Can you recommend me one? Show me your nips." Right? And if the nips look good, maybe tip them $20. Right? That's customary in a situation like this. If the nips look good, then you ask for the contact, and you go to the same gynecomastia surgeon. Get a consultation, right? And then you decide yourself if you want to drop to 5K, 10K, or 15K, depending on what the surgeon is going to ask in your unique case of gynecomastia. Woo-wee. Woo-wee, wow. Almost at 125,000 subs. Are we? No, it's terrible. Got this fucking plaque right here. And I haven't even taken it out of the fucking plastic yet. Collector's item. I'm just going to keep it right here next to my desk. I almost tripped over it one time. Well, the next one is the 1 million. And I guess at this rate, it's never going to happen. Unless I get on Joe Rogan. At least the enhanced games got on Joe Rogan. So there is hope. There is hope. Igor Neves, never heard of downregulation with DECA or hCG before. Should I avoid hCG with DECA then? Yes, I've seen it happen myself and with many guys that if they go over 200 milligrams of nandrolone per week or 50 milligrams Trenbolone or Tristolone and they add in the hCG, that it works initially the first month maybe, and then after a while it stops working. The libido goes down and testicular volume shrinks again, semen volume goes down. We'll discuss all of this in the hCG video. But maybe for some guys it doesn't happen. So if you blast DECA at like, let's say over 200 milligrams per week, and hCG is working, keep using it. Keep using it. Use an aromatase inhibitor. Your estrogen levels might be sky fucking high, but if it keeps working, your semen parameters are good, your testicular volume is good, and your ejaculation volume is great, then by all means, man. By all means. You're a legend for doing these live Q&As. Big thanks, Steve. Yeah, my pleasure, dude. For now, we can still do them, but at one point I'll be on daddy duty, and then it might be a little bit difficult to keep doing these because my wife needs to sleep. Yeah, but so far, nothing. We'll start implanting August or September. We have a couple healthy embryos, so that's a fucking okay. With this tempo, you will get 2,000 subscribers this year. No, I don't think so. I think I gain about 3,000 subscribers per month, and we have, well, it's the 7th month. Minus 7 times 3,000, 15,000. Yeah, plus 1, 2, 5, 2, 140,000. That's not bad. I might block 1,000 people. No. Let's see. Let's see what happens. James B missed my question. All right, where is it? I think I answered your question, but it took a long time to get back to you. So, oh, here it is. Found several studies showing near 100% bioavailability of steroids dissolved in 60% DMSO, 50% ethanol, dissolved 50 milligrams DHT per milliliter is possible. So, it could be an interesting pre-workout experiment. Go for it. Go for it. I have DMSO at home, or I had it. I gave it away, and I tried to make a topical Winstrol solution, but it didn't really work. So I gave up. I'm just not a home brewer, man. I need a guy, but I don't know a guy here who can make it for me. So, but if it works for you, man, keep rubbing that DHT on the biceps, getting freaky pumps, epicness. All right. Brad Miller, have a pool party next weekend and I'm looking flat. How can I leverage carbs to fill out by then without the bloat? Also have Brad the chat. I also have anadrol. Use if I can help. 100 currently on 180 milligrams TRT. I don't just eat a little bit more carbs. Dude, a pool party. No, nobody's got all the chicks there will not notice a fucking difference, dude. They will not give a shit whether you're full or lean or not. Oh, confidence. Confidence is what you need. You don't need anadrol. You don't need carbs. You just walk up to girls that you like, and it's a numbers game, right? Introduce yourself. If you're not a creep and you look good, then you'll get laid that day, man. Fuck, dude. Shit. I need to look good at the pool party. Otherwise, wear some cool fucking shorts and a hat, and then distract people that way. Eat a little bit more carbs on the day of the pool party. Just drink alcohol. You'll dry out. Fuck, that's what I would do. Yeah, and just eat stuff that sits well in your stomach, so you don't have a bloated fucking 6-pack. Yo, coach, I went on holiday and met Dorian Yates at the airport. Oh man, hopefully he didn't put you through a workout. That's fucking cool. I think Derek had a podcast with Dorian Yates. He should be dropping on his YouTube channel in a couple of weeks. So hopefully that's interesting. Eric93, AST and LT increased 85 to 51% from last blood work after 10 milligrams Anavar per day. Blood urea nitrogen was also high, all outside of the reference range. Is this cause for concern? 20 times 1.85 37. Well, that's still in the reference range. Could be a reason for concern. Where's your gamma GT levels? Did you check those? If your gamma GT levels are in range, I would say that 10 milligrams Anavar per day increase your training intensity, and thus AST and LT transaminases increased in the bloodstream because they're actually coming from skeletal muscle and not from your liver. And otherwise, take the Anavar out, stop training for a week, and see where your LT and AST enzymes come back down to. Blood urine nitrogen increased due to protein turnover. Drink more water. It's as simple as that. And then retest. You know, and the markers will go up and down as you take steroids and train harder. It's just part of the game. But I would say it's not a reason for concern because I don't know how high your ALT and AST are and your blood urine nitrogen is. Right? If they're both at 300 and your BUN is like 35, I would say that that's a reason for concern. But if your AST is 60, ALT is 50, and your BUN is 26, I would say drink more water, shut the fuck up. Yeah. So include those numbers. Medieval engineer. When I come into power, taking steroids without watching all the great wizards teach videos and passing the exams will be punishable by castration. Basically, yeah. Yeah, if you're taking all the steroids without watching my videos, then you'll castrate yourself. But I've castrated myself with steroids for a very long period of time until I wisened up and added in a little bit of hCG. And then my fertility parameters are absolutely stellar. So just keep watching, keep liking, keep super chatting, keep adding the hCG, and keep enriching your power so you can control the universe by taking performance-enhancing drugs. If only, right? Well, what would you do if you had the powers of Homelander? Would you turn weird and creepy? Probably. Hey, Steve, Matthew Pete. Hey, Steve, I've been on 250 milligrams testosterone for 3 weeks now, cutting from 20% body fat. Taking it too early, buddy, but you're already in now, so you better keep cutting. Recently just started getting uncomfortable feeling in my chest, shorter breath. Should I be worried? Should I run ECG? Any supplements? Well, it could be that you're allergic to the carrier oil that you're injecting. This sounds like a symptom of systemic inflammation. So go do an ECG, go do a chest ultrasound, or what is it called? Echocardiogram. So you have the ECG is an electrocardiogram, that's just electrodes to check your pulse. And then an echocardiogram is actual imaging of your heart. Check your C-reactive protein levels, and if those are elevated or there's anything off, switch to testosterone for another brand, because it might mean that you're just inflamed. Right, and it could be that you have an adverse reaction. Maybe your blood work or your blood pressure went up. Maybe your water retention went up. I mean, your body fat percentage is 20%. So it could be that both water retention and blood pressure went up. So check your blood pressure while you're at it as well. And I would not take any testosterone until you get this shortness of breath and uncomfortable feeling in your chest resolved. Right, and supplements are just for maintenance. So 5,000 milligrams taurine, 2,000 milligrams ubiquinol, 40 milligrams PQQ, pyrroloquinoline quinone, and proper electrolyte intake, the sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, that also needs to be in range. So blood work, imaging, and no testosterone until you feel better. That's simple. Don't fuck around with your heart, man. Don't fuck around with that. Sebastian Taruno, gut healing protocols, dealing with indigestion, bulking, elimination diet. If you have indigestion, it means that the food is not digesting properly, and you're eating something that your stomach doesn't agree with. I have videos on this. How to eat 7,000 calories per day. Man, what was that video called? I don't know. You have to search his channel. I have several videos on how to eat a boatload of food. Off-season gains. Optimize digestion. All right, let's link that one. Vacuum for days. Oh shit, where's my video now? Yeah, so it's basically elimination diet, eating foods that sit well in your stomach and digest well. You can take betaine hydrochloride and apple cider vinegar with meals to speed up digestion. A little bit of fiber from vegetables to kind of pass everything through, but not too much to the point that you feel full all the time. High calorie, low density foods. So instead of eating potatoes, you switch to, I don't know, oatmeal, but that has a lot of fiber, could not sit well with you either. Uh, Damn, what is the name of that video, dude? Calories. Eat for mass. Eat ass for mass. That's the one. Eat ass for mass. We're gonna get demonetized so hard. Shower first, though. Otherwise, no bueno. Watch those videos, man. It's all explained there. Morgan Barbarian, welcome to the Vigorous crew, bro. You're in for a wild ride. Hey, Steve, does methyl estradiol from the Anavar raise SHBG like exogenous estradiol? I'm not entirely sure. I could never find any evidence that it does, but it might. Then again, the Anavar will suppress your SHBG levels. You probably break even. Yeah. Probably break even. James B., anyone else feels like the longer you live, the more you realize that life is not about these man-made rules about having genuine connections and about having genuine connection and adventures. Yes, that's why you need to leave the Western world, because there's too many man-made rules castrating your intellectual desires. So yeah, man, go travel. Have some genuine connections with the locals or other travelers, and to go on an adventure. I went on an adventure for an entire year. It was the best period of my life. Yeah, it was great. Great. It's not sustainable. It's terrible for your health, but it was fucking great. Henry Lam, so you're asking about gynecomastia surgeons in Thailand. Where are you planning to get it? So there's several gynecomastia. I'm probably just going to go to a clinic. What was the clinic? I went to 3 different doctors. One of them I really liked, but he was way too expensive. I'm talking about 250,000 baht. I mean, that's insane, but that's because the hospital marked it up. Let me see. What was it? Ratinan Medical Center? Is that the one? I haven't looked at it in a while. I think it's Ratinan. Doesn't really load for me. I'll just link it down below. That's the most rated one. I'll probably get it done there. See if they have an influencer discount. Make a video about it. Get it for free. Well, let's see. So I think that's the one that I wanted to go. I went to a couple private hospitals, and well, website doesn't load. Great. Probably all the rain that flooded the servers. My Bitcoin mining farm is offline. All the rainwater leaked into my mineral oil bath. Anyway, I think it's Ratinan. I linked it down below, but the website is not loading. So, and I do gynecomastia surgery and lipo. So might as well get it done at the same time. Matthew Gregg, does Masteron cause excretion of potassium or just sodium? I think it just promotes both, because, I mean, it makes you flat as hell, especially the dose as the dosages go higher. Cramping was mentioned in some of the clinical trials. 300 milligrams per week. So if you go over that, you'll certainly cramp, but it's the same case for Turinabol. Turinabol was an aldosterone synthase inhibitor, so that means that aldosterone levels actually go down. This is one of the reasons why you start cramping, by lowering the sodium levels and potentially potassium levels. And with Masteron, I think that it inhibits some of the effects of estradiol, and thus you excrete potassium and sodium that way, because estradiol also contributes to the renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. But I can't remember reading anything specifically about Masteron, and there's not anything in scientific evidence, but it probably excretes both. But mostly sodium. It's usually mostly sodium that get excreted by aldosterone downregulation. If Masteron is the one that downregulates aldosterone. Mister, torn disc in my lower back. What would you recommend taking apart from? Here we go again. If you have a torn disc, you need surgery. You need something to put it back in place. I mean, you can't just expect BPC 157 and TB 500s to structurally heal everything. Like, the body is not like Wolverine. These peptides are great healing peptides, but everything needs to be in place before Anavar and collagen and TB500 and BPC 157 and growth hormone or growth hormone secretagogues can help with growth and regeneration. So get diagnosed how bad it is, how bad the torn disc in your lower back is. And then if the doctor says, oh, it will heal perfectly fine without surgery or immobilization, then go right ahead. All right. Take 1 milligram BPC 157 and TB 500 administered as close to the torn disc as possible. So you need somebody else to inject that for you. 20 milligrams Anavar, 50 grams or 30 grams of collagen. Nandrolone might help. Testosterone might help. 2, 4, 6 IUs of growth hormone might help. GHK copper might help if you have a surgery and you can apply that topically. Man, maybe even ARA 290 if you have some what is it, some nerve issue down there or cerebral lysin. There's a boatload of things that could help, but the most important thing for you to do is to get diagnosed how severe the torn disc is, to see if you need surgery or immobilization, and then take the healing protocol from there. The fucking like button, you twats. Oh, Jimmy's son said it, so you better fucking do it. All right, better fucking do it. Where are we? What heart rate zone do you aim for in your daily fasted cardio? Any supplements you take personally to enhance the session? Right now, well, I take the Mirabegron. Begron. That's the beta 3 adrenergic receptor agonist. It's actually a medication used in the management of overactive bladder. So it relaxes your bladder, so you really don't have to pee. And then when you have to pee, your bladder is so fucking full that you stand there pissing for a fucking hour. Somebody at the Vigorous Q&A recommended it like 2 weeks ago or something. I can't remember the name, but I'll make a deep dive for it, and I'll at least give the guy credit for recommending it because he super chatted it. So Steve, you got to look into Mirabegron. I use it for all of my patients, and it's a great fat burner. Give it a try. So it's available in Thailand. I bought it, and it's indeed great. Yeah, it's similar to albuterol. Similar stimulatory action. It does raise the heart rate though, even though it works on the beta 3 adrenergic receptors, not on the beta 2. But it's 10 times better than clenbuterol, man. Clenbuterol, 20 micrograms twice a day. Oh. But now I'm taking 50 milligrams Mirabegron, and works like a charm. Yeah, with growth hormone, fat loss for days. So good energy during the workout as well. And regarding fasted cardio, I aim for about 130, 135 beats per minute on the elliptical. I do my abs 3 times per week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I do 20 minutes, 30 minutes of cardio, and 20 minutes to 30 minutes of cardio. On the other days, sometimes I skip on Sunday because I wake up, I roll out of bed, I have a coffee, and then we go out. So I get my steps in, maybe 20 minutes of walking, and then I have a fucking breakfast. Yeah, at the nice place tomorrow, I'm going to have pastrami sandwich and a stack of pancakes with bacon and eggs. I'm starving, but I'm lean. My lower back. Good shit, man. Mirabegron and 10 IU's growth hormone, fat loss for days. And that's about it. I do my fasted cardio on a fasted stomach, and I take supplements. You can count the 1,000 milligrams taurine and the 100 milligrams ubiquinol to enhance the cardio session, but it's mostly Mirabegron, and I take my growth hormone the night before. Sub-Q, sleep like a fucking king. There we go. What do you feel is the ideal ferritin level? I donate blood every 4 to 5 months to keep hematocrit below 51, 52, but ferritin is around 30. I'm wary of tanking it any further. Could you supplement with iron? Well, you have to check your iron levels, right? Because if your iron is low as well, then you're just over donating. And ferritin, and honestly, it doesn't really matter, man. It's just an indication of how much iron is in your body or an indication if there's inflammation. But if your ferritin is 30, then I would say that there's no inflammation. And it probably indicates that you're iron deficient. And if you keep donating every 4 to 5 months and your iron levels are low, that means that your hematocrit is going to shoot up because your red blood cell count and the hemoglobin within is iron or is not sufficient in iron, and then your body is going to overcompensate by making a lot of small red blood cells. So your hematocrit might be 51, 52, but your red blood cells might be 7.2, which is way out of the reference range, right? So check your iron levels and take it from there, because you're not telling us the full picture. We need to know your red blood cell count. We need to know your serum iron levels. And ferritin, if it's 30, it's at the bottom of the reference range. So that might mean that you're iron deficient. And the longer you stay iron deficient, the worse it is for your red blood cell count and your mean corpulus volume, mean corpulus hemoglobin concentration, and your red cell distribution width. So you're probably skewing your complete blood count more than is necessary. And we're starting to lose my voice. 6.6% body fat on the DEXA scan today, 4 weeks out, running 280 tests, 280 Primo, 150 Mastron, 70 Trend, 10 milligrams pre-workout Anavar. Sounds like a great cycle. Adding in 5 to 10 milligrams per day injectable Winstrol, or too low to benefit, just increase others. No, I think that's great, man. Actually, I would do, if you're 4 weeks out, I would just do 25 milligrams injectable Winstrol. Your body fat level is 6.6. You're probably looking like you're 4 to 5%. A DEXA scan is always 2% higher than what you would look like in real life. So you're definitely low enough for Winstrol. No more PRs in the gym, right? Control your working sets. But if you're close to a show and you're ready to win and you're on this stack, I would just go in full Monty, 25 milligrams injectable Winstrol sub-Q, somewhere at the upper butt cheeks where your opposing trunks would cover it. So you need somebody else to administer that. And then you can run that all the way into the show while stopping the testosterone, Primo, Mastron, and Tren about a week out. So you don't have any lumps and bumps in the glutes or wherever else you were injecting. And the subcutaneous space on your butt cheeks or in between your butt cheeks, that will not spill over outside of your opposing trunks. And otherwise, you have to do the injectable Winstrol in the lats for a little bit of inflammation. Ask Derek Lunsford. It works great. Allegedly. I mean, I've been recommending injectable Winstrol in the lats of my Asian clients for decades because their lats are non-existent, right? They have great quads, great shoulders, great arms, but the lats are kind of weak. So you pin a little bit of injectable Winstrol there, 50 milligrams, diluted with another 4 milliliters of sterile water or bacteriostatic water or normal saline solution. So you put the full 5 cc's and then you inject it 50 milligrams. So it's way diluted. But the swelling that you get from that is, a winning physique. Yeah. Schley Bailey. How beneficial or how significant is the mental benefit to resilience at superphysiological levels of testosterone, let's say 15,000 to 2,000 nanograms per deciliter, compared to 800 nanograms natural? So I'm at 1,300 nanograms per deciliter, and I was 800 nanograms per deciliter on hCG monotherapy, and I would say that I'm about twice as resilient, and the mental benefits are significantly enhanced. But then again, I'm not just on testosterone, I'm on the full Monty. Man, talk too much. My mood is better. My workout capacity is enhanced, even though the videos are lacking. It's just because I have so many consultations and other shit to do. I mean, preparing for holidays and stuff takes time. I would say it's significant, man. And it's not just the testosterone on paper that's increasing, but estradiol is also going to go up. And if you go on a full HRT protocol with DHEA, pregnenolone, etc., then the benefits are very, very noticeable. Yeah, I can't speak enough about it highly. And the only real way of knowing is by getting your hands dirty and giving it a try. I mean, I've coached people through their first cycle that were not androgen deficient. They were like, say, 600 to 800 nanograms per deciliter. And then you double that. Right? You bring them to 1,500 nanograms per deciliter. And like, I feel exactly the same. I tell them, stop the testosterone for a month. Let's see. Feel miserable. I said, well, now you know the difference. Because the ride up is so slow that the only real way of knowing it's by taking it away. And even after 2 weeks, when their testosterone levels are like the same they were before, they're like, don't feel so good anymore. So go check your levels. 800 nanograms per deciliter. So that's where we were before TRT. Yeah, but I don't feel the same. So, well, it's because you didn't notice the come up, but you noticed the way down because it's more dramatic. Cortex Labs, Ryan Barrow. When we're doing a podcast on your YouTube channel, buddy, we go one for one. So you've came on mine. Now I got to come on you. Now I got to. Now I got to come on your channel. Terrible. Well, running 11 milligrams Anavar a day in about I will run 11 milligrams Anavar per day in a month. You got those weird tablets, right? Of 11, 12 and a half milligrams. I run Tutka daily. Any other suggestions for hepatic function? Also, TAD daily. Tadalafil daily. That's Cialis daily. Other blood pressure management measures. Lastly, how bad is Anavar on hair compared to other DHT derivatives? It's not as bad. I would say at 11 milligrams per day, 70 milligrams, 77 milligrams per week. It should not be noticeable, but it could be. Is it like Primo or Masteron or Bolderon even? Not entirely, but Anavar is not hair safe. The testosterone is not hair safe. Only Nandrolone is hair safe, and maybe Dianabol. But Turinabol, Anavar, Proviron, I would say that Anavar is maybe the hair safest DHT derivative out there. But if you notice shedding, which you can easily observe by just doing this over the sink, and if you see a buttload of hair, then Anavar is not for you. Sucks. Or you need to put dutasteride in your ketoconazole shampoo and block the androgen receptors, and then prevent the conversion of the testosterone in the scalp, and then maybe mitigate a little bit of the DHT-like effect that you get from the Anavar. Tetka, 500 milligrams daily, 2,000 milligrams NAC, or injectable glutathione. And the tadalafil 5 milligrams should be okay, but if you're taking tadalafil and Anavar, you might get significant acid reflux, and I have a video for that. Of course I do. Of course I got a video for that. Basically, long story short, eat the foods that you can digest. Apple cider vinegar with meals, beta hydrochloride with meals, and everything will turn out okay. But I think 500 Tatka, 2000 NAC, or injectable glutathione, maybe 3 times per week, 600 milligrams intramuscularly, should be enough to support hepatic function. Tadalafil, 5 to 10 milligrams daily. I don't think you need other measures to control your blood pressure, but adding in 77 milligrams Anavar on top of your TRT might deplete magnesium levels further. And then over time, because magnesium levels are now close to deficient, the relaxation of your arteries might not be as efficient anymore. So I would increase my magnesium intake with 200 milligrams per day. But ideally, you should already be taking 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams magnesium bisglycinate or glycinate with every single meal, let's say 4 to 5 times per day, 1,000 milligrams supplemental magnesium over the day, right? At least 500 to 1,000. Yeah. And the hair, well, time will tell. Shoot me an email, dude. Let's do a podcast on your YouTube channel when I'm back from holiday, middle of July. I'm on 200 milligrams test, feeling great. Estradiol 65 picograms per milliliter, body fat 12%. Do you think I can lower estradiol to 45, 50 picograms per milliliter with only adding in zinc and diethylmethane? Could be. 25 to 50 milligrams of zinc and 200 milligrams diethylmethane and daily microadministrations. Give it a try. Report back to us. It's a reduction of 30%. Is that 30%? Yeah, 30%. I got it almost on the number. Yeah, I think that's doable. And well, otherwise, get your body fat levels down. Yeah. Sucks though. Dieting sucks. Let's be honest. Every time you want to, my wife's like, "Hey, do you want to eat this?" Can't. Save it for Sunday, babe. And then Sunday comes around, gone. All gone. It's all right. It's all right. Carlin, what do you think about 10 IUs Novorapid insulin, 2 IUs growth hormone, 15 IUs before the workout, and 10 IUs Novorapid, 2 IUs growth hormone post workout? Well, the Novorapid is going to overlap because it has an active life of what, 4.5 hours. And if you work out 2 hours, then you're basically an hour and 45 minutes into your first shot, and now it's overlapping. So I would have the Novorapid with your pre-workout meal 1 hour before the workout. So you eat your meal, then you have 10 hours Novorapid postprandial, so right after you're finished eating. 2 AUs growth hormone before you head to the gym, 15 minutes before. And then you come home, you have your 2 IUs growth hormone post-workout, and then 30 minutes later you eat your post-workout meal with 10 IUs Novorapid postprandial. Then it's about 3.5 hours apart, if my estimations are correct. Why does my blood glucose levels raise over time? Maybe you're losing insulin sensitivity. Do I get insulin resistance from high insulin and the growth hormone dose? It could be. Could be that your blood glucose levels increase because you're in a very high cortisol state during your workout, and thus you get some glucogenolysis. Anyway, glycogen is dumping from the liver into the bloodstream, or maybe it's even leaking from skeletal muscle, but you need to do significant damage to skeletal muscle before the glucose comes out of that. So maybe you're just, or you're going hypo during the workout, and you release a lot of glucagon, which dumps glycerol from adipose tissue, and that gets converted into glucose through gluconeogenesis. And then by the time that's active, your Novorapid is starting to wear off, and now serum glucose levels are elevated. It could be all, or maybe your intra-workout shake isn't fully absorbed. I'm assuming you're taking intra-workout. When does your blood glucose rise over time? Morning, evening, before the workout, after the workout, during the workout, after these meal with insulin. Check your blood glucose levels before every meal, upon waking and before bed, and then whatever meal you feel is over 130 or 120 milligrams per deciliter, when you test it, then that meal you need to adjust. So, and check your fasting insulin levels, check your hemoglobin A1C, and take it from there. Definitely define medical prescribed like 23 milligrams tabs of Anavar compounded. Yes, split them in half. And then, okay, podcast ASAP. Let's get it done. Of course, man. We're having a lot of fun on those podcasts. It's a lot of fun. Let's email soon. Oh, I'm at the end. Oh, man. Got it done in 1.5 hours. Eric93, will corticosteroids for back pain affect my gains if I'm on 300 milligrams a test? Yes. Yes. Injectable corticosteroids or even topical corticosteroids, if you use them chronically, will affect your gains. Look into Acarbose, Arcoxia. Seems to be quite a good painkiller for back pain. Might inhibit gains a little bit, but not to the point that it does so with corticosteroids. FW in puberty and doing a CJC DAC, and okay, I'm sorry, buddy, but I can't answer these questions. This is not responsible of me. So I hope you can retract your super chat, but I can't answer this because you're 17. So I've mentioned this many times before. I don't do height protocols. I'm not an irresponsible YouTuber. Discuss this with your parents or do more research. But I'm the wrong person to ask. So I hope you can reverse your super chat. But there will be no height protocol discussion on my YouTube channel for adolescents. Come back when you're 25. All right, let's start answering some questions that I might have overlooked. Maximal, Steve, my resting heart rate is always around 80. I feel this is too high. I'm a 41-year-old male using 5 milligrams Cialis daily, 600 milligrams magnesium on Lazy Man's TRT protocol, by the way. Are you doing daily fasted cardio? That will reduce your heart rate to 50. That's where my resting heart rate is, unless I'm using a stimulant. And now might be 70 because I'm excited. to answer all these questions. But do daily fasted cardio, man. That's the best way to reduce your heart rate, your resting heart rate, every single day. Every single day, no excuses. And again, if you're doing a lazy man's TRT protocol and your carrier oil is synthetic and you get systemic inflammation, that might be increasing your resting heart rate too. Gibson Chidwood, any advice on starting Melanotan 2 leading into a vacation, hoping to take advantage of that sun? Well, you need sunlight, right? So unless you go tanning, I would just skip the Melanotan or save the Melanotan 2 for when you're on vacation. You might do a 0.5 mg, 1 mg sub Q, and then you go tan, and whether that's in the tanning salon or at the beach. Right? And then use some sun lotion, obviously. It can be factor 10 to 50, depending on where you're going and how much direct sunlight you get. But the best results, from what I heard, I mean, I'm the wrong guy to ask. I'm pale as a ghost. The best results I've heard is 0.25 milligrams sub-Q twice per day, and then you're basically outside the entire day. So you take it in the morning, you're outside the entire day, right? But in the shade, so you get indirect sunlight from the ocean on the beach, and maybe you go into the beach once in a while, or into the water once in a while, but mostly stay in the shade and the lounging salons, just twisting and turning. And then you have your afternoon lunch, right? By the time the nausea from the melanotan should have worn off, then an hour later you inject sub-Q the other 0.25 milligrams, and then you do the exact same routine until the sun goes down. I think within 1 week, you'll be tense fuck. Yeah, give that a run. Because 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, I mean, can't fucking eat, man. I mean, half the fun of going on holiday is eating. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. I can't wait to eat Lebanese and Arabic food in Dubai, man. Oh, I can't wait. And I found some nice restaurants in Dubai. They're so expensive, though. Fuck, man. Would you consider getting a degree in molecular biology or chemistry? I think that would be more specific to what you're doing and becoming a doctor. Yeah, if it wasn't taking so long, and if I had an extra 4 years, 6 years of time on my hands, which I don't. I wish, man. I wish, man, I could get a doctorate degree or a degree in molecular biochemistry, but I don't think I need to. I the time that I could spending on that, I want to spend with my family. I'm slowly winding down, man. I hate to bring it to you, but I'm slowly winding down. Once I have a kid, I will not work as much, and I'll spend all my time with my wife and kids. That's all I want. I'm not gonna get a degree so it looks more professional or whatever, because I've already made my mark on the fitness industry. I'm making more than enough money. Let's see if people paid for consultation in the meantime. Make more than enough money, and I don't think being a doctor or having a chemistry degree is going to add much to that. And if it does, then, well, so be it. All right, we already got one. That's good. That's good. One more to go, and then we hit that financial milestone. So if I had time, I would love to do it. I would love to be interested in learning all the ins and outs of molecular biology, biochemistry, or getting an endocrinology degree, but that would be in testosterone, obviously, not in insulin. It would be a nice accolade, but I don't have the time. And the time that I have, I want to spend with my family. It's that simple. So I should have done that 20 years ago. Matt Jones, having taken beta blockers 1 year ago, I'm sensitive to heart arrhythmias, not improving. Guess I've upregulated the receptors. Have you encountered this? No, I ran the Bivol for 3 years, stopped it, haven't used it since, and didn't have any arrhythmias. So watch the heart video, because I used to have arrhythmias. Uh, what was that one called? I can't remember, dude. Heart imaging. It's an older one, but it's a good one. It's 1 hour long. So I used to have arrhythmias as well. It was mostly related to training, because I would take all my sets to failure. This was before I learned a little bit more self control in the gym. And then basically the doctor said, well, every time you take a set to failure, your heart stops as soon as you reach failure. And then you do a couple more sets because the blood pressure is so high, the intensity is so high. And then it picks back up after you come out of the set and you release all of this muscular tension. So this was happening during the day too. My heart would stop and then pick back up multiple times per day. Fucking scary, dude. But apparently that's normal in strength athletes. So I reduced the intensity, 5,000 taurine, 600 milligrams ubiquinol, and 40 milligrams pyrroloquinolone quinone over the day, PQQ, and shilajit fulvic acid sometimes with your ubiquinol, and proper magnesium intake, electrolyte intake. And that kind of resolved it. And otherwise, well, you go back on a beta blocker. You know, I mean, it's not the end of the world. If that removes it, reduces it, then this is the way to do it. Does every suspension have localized effects since the molecules can start binding to the receptors after the injection? Yeah, maybe. Maybe, could be. I mean, do you get inflammation from it? Hell yes. Hey, Winstrol, Trenbolone, testosterone suspensions. I mean, you get mad inflammation, mad irritation. But, you know, this is the way that you might get some growth out of it. But it could be. Then again, I've never heard anybody just shoot copious amounts of suspensions in body parts and then magically increase their size. And it's not only through the androgen receptor, but growth hormone receptor and insulin receptor and IGF-1 receptor and maybe beta-2 adrenergic receptor. You know, there's multitude of different metabolic or anabolic pathways that are that might initiate growth. And of course, you need food in the equation. Real D-Train. Oh, yeah, they Dawson Weiss. What's up, bro? Favorite doses of testosterone to look and feel your best. I mean, you know, this is individual. All right, and add some trend to that, bro. Hope you're doing well, man. You look 10 times better without the beard. But we all look better shaven, to be honest. I haven't seen you on Instagram in a while. Did you get banned? I was following you, right? Not following. What the fuck? I thought I was following you. Well, Instagram strikes again. Looking saucy, bro. Hope everything is going well. Best doses of testosterone is anywhere between 150 milligrams to 5,000 milligrams per week. Yeah, pick and choose your poison. Whatever you feel best. If I would be a Homelander, I'd take down BlackRock. No, we need BlackRock, man. We need BlackRock to pump the market, and then again, would be the ones that made me. You need companies like that to pump the market. You think the yeah, you need these guys, man. You need these guys to manipulate. You just have to be ahead of the manipulation. I think you can make some good gains. Iron, timing and injection protocol prior to IGF-1 tests to test IGF-1 blood levels, assuming all else are equal, using growth hormone, IGF-1 LR3, and Increlex. Wow. Trying to understand personal response to each. So it could be anywhere between 500 micrograms up to 4 milligrams to raise serum levels. Surprisingly, my serum levels increase quite a bit on 500 micrograms, but in some guys, it doesn't happen. Some guys need 4 milligrams or even 12 milligrams to increase their serum levels. So maybe for me, when I inject it, it all spills out into the bloodstream. But usually I pin it in my chest or shoulder, and then I'm kind of moving it around to kind of make it spill. All right. And of course, I'm on growth hormone as well. So that increases IGF-1 production in the liver, but my liver is kind of unresponsive to that kind of protocol. But I should check my IGF-1 levels until I use growth hormone just solo. So I might stop the Increlex before I go in for blood work. And IGF-1 LR3 might not detect this IGF-1 at all. I know, you keep using the exact same dose of growth hormone and then do 1 milligram IGF-1 LR3, 2 hours, 2.5 hours before drawing blood for analysis, and then do 1 milligram Increlex and see how much of a change that is compared to baseline. So you just do growth hormone solo, then a week later you do growth hormone plus IGF-1 LR3 at 1 milligram, and then check your IGF-1 levels. And otherwise shoot it IV. You will get fucking high levels. right? Because you don't have to worry about timing. 1 milligram IV, 5 milligrams before drawing blood. You might go hypo though, because it's very insulin sensitizing. It's not long enough for the IGF-1 to metabolize. Same for Increlex. But if anything will shoot up your levels, that will be the way to do it. So there's different ways to go with it. But I've seen guys use the exact same vial of Increlex as me and not see any changes on their serum levels. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then you tell them, well, you need to maybe go to 12 milligrams per day, and then they shoot like 5 milligrams, and their levels are like 750. So absorption, metabolism, serum levels, it's very individual with IGF-1, it seems. And with growth hormone, it's the same for everybody. The ones that we're using right now, I have other people do serum and tests just to confirm that it's good before I stock up on bulk, right? I mean, I'm not going to spend an arm and a leg on bulk products if I'm not 100% sure that it's good. They do 10 IUs IM 2.5 hours before drawing blood, 33. Mine was 36, so nanograms per milliliter. So that's all very comparable. Jamie said it's futile, man. Resistance is futile. It's pointless to ask for likes. People are just too lazy. 200 here, 99 likes. Dude, by the end of this, right, we'll have 15, 16,000 viewers over the entire Q&A, and I'll have maybe 200 likes. It's just pointless to ask for it. It's too much effort. Right? I'll just continue to do this, and at one point it will not be worth my time anymore, and then I retire. You know? Yeah, it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't fucking matter. I have 125,000 subscribers. I make a good amount of money. And the likes, it doesn't matter. I don't need 1 million subs either. I want this community to stay amongst people who get it. And I don't think there's 1 million people on this planet who get it. Because when these other channels start growing, it's when they turn into verbal diarrhea and reaction channels. Right? There's not so much demand for intelligent content. So we don't need 1 million subs. Maybe 250,000 would be nice. How long it's going to take, I'm not entirely sure. I might reach 140,000 subscribers by the end of this year. But as long as I'm making more money than my subscriber count in dollars, then I'm fine. And I am most months. So, you know, this kind of content is for people who get it. Right, who live the lifestyle, who want to improve themselves, who want to learn more, who are inspired to do research. And I realized a long time ago that there's not so many people on this planet who fall into that category. Right, and I could dumb it down and go vanilla, and then I'm just like everybody else. And then, you know, of course you have alternatives like Kurt Havens, Paul Barnett, you know, so many good guys, and Dr. Dean said Martin, Scott Stevenson. There's so many intelligent guys, and they all have small followings because it's too complicated, man. It's too complicated. So now I don't need more subs. I don't need more likes. You guys just to support me with super chats and scheduling consultations and personalized services and using my discount codes, and then I'm good. Then I'm good, man. The goal was 100,000 subs, and everything after that is a bonus. You know, I would like to go on Joe Rogan at one point. That would be nice, and maybe do some collaborations with bigger YouTube channels, which, you know, well, sometimes I check my subscribers, and then you see some big fucking names. Like well, I'm not going to out them, but there's some fucking bodybuilders, some IFB pros that are subscribed to this YouTube channel publicly, and they got like over 1 million subscribers. So some of them are my fucking hero, man. So as long as you see that come in, like you see Evan Centopani send you a message and like, hey dude, I really like what you're doing. And Roman Fritz sent you a message like, dude, your channel is so good. Man, what more do you need, dude? Star Wars Theory, you know, like all these guys I had on my YouTube channel, but there's a couple guys in this list. Or Dan Coe, right? I mean, even James Smith subscribed. I had some messages with him. And there's some big fucking names in my top 20, man. But, well, let's see what happens when I go to the US. Let's see who I can collaborate with. So that's enough for me, man. That's enough for me. Because all the guys that I know that have large YouTube channels, like 1 or 2 million subscribers, they have no life. They had no life. They go everywhere to get recognized. It's already getting quite a lot now that I'm in Thailand. Like, every weekend I go out, I meet people, which is not the end of the world, but that has never happened, dude. In Thailand, if I go to the US, okay, I get recognized every city, but in Thailand, it never happened, and now it's everywhere. And then Aaron said, Aaron Burke, bodybuilding with Aaron, he's like, yeah, and then now you're in that zone where you always got to be nice and always on your best behavior. You can't have a bad day because as soon as you interact with a person that is your fan, that you don't give the interaction that they want, then you're at fault. It's like, yeah, all the pressure. I usually have good days though. So when you meet me, I'm sure everybody can attest to this, that everybody that has ever met me that recognized me or was a follower, subscriber, whatever, has had a good interaction. But yeah, at one point it will be maybe too much for comfort, right? Even when I go to the gym now, it's just nonstop, no matter what time I go. And yeah, you give up a little bit of privacy. So 1 million subs, I can't imagine it, man. I don't think I want that. I don't think I want that. I'm sure the money will be good, but you know, I can't believe that I'm saying this, but there's more to life than money. Melatonin 1 is so much better, less nausea. But is it as tanning as melanotan 2? I only used melanotan 2 a couple times, and then I was like, you know what? I like my white skin. I'm gonna keep it where it is. Igor, idea for new mechanism of action of IGF-1 will be very interesting. It'll probably get no views, but nice suggestion. And I have videos on IGF-1 and an ebook on IGF-1. So maybe buy the ebook. It's like discounted 25%. Just buy the ebook, man. I already explained it there. Maybe at one point I'll get to an IGF-1 deep dive, but man, it's if you start diving into growth hormone and IGF-1 and some of these peptides, even the hCG deep dive was a nightmare to prepare for. I thought I'll do that like over the weekend. Big fucking mistake. So growth hormone IGF-1, there's so many unique characteristics and methods to run it that I'd need to be really selective, but I'd still need to go through all the scientific evidence. So maybe there will be a deep dive about IGF-1, but let me get through those steroids first. I mean, the last video was 2 months ago, and Androlone might still take a couple weeks to release. So you guys must be on the edge of your seat. Jimmy's son, doesn't matter, G. Get those fucking likes up. Yeah. Well, where are we now? Where are the likes now? I missed Paul Burnett's podcast. I'll watch that when we're done here. Just go live. 126. Jesus Christ. Guys, you're killing me. What have I done to deserve this? Yeah, Greg Doucette is a great example, right? I mean, it used to be good content, or at least interesting from a bodybuilder's perspective, and now it's unfucking watchable, or at least for intelligent people. I'm sure Greg will make a reaction. My subscribers he says they're not intelligent. Sorry, dude. But I don't know any intelligent person that watches Greg Doucette. I mean, I met him at the Mr. Olympia. Seems like a nice guy. But, I mean, it's not the kind of content for me. And I don't think anybody on my YouTube channel is watching Greg Doucette either. But it's the same for all the other reaction channels. You see the same thing with Renaissance periodization, right? It started to deviate a little bit. And then now it's more verbal diarrhea and reaction. And they're mooning. So great fucking for them, right? At least it's more entertaining than Greg Doucette and a little bit more insightful, especially from the training perspective. But they changed their content also, and they're fucking lifting off. You know, and Derek just released a reaction video to a guy high on tren and meth or another drug, and it's also 500,000 views. But it's reaction content. You know, it's not what I do and not what I like to make. I try to do reaction videos, and it fucking burns my soul, man. I like to make deep dives. So if that doesn't get any views, well, in 10 years from now, you guys will remember. That's Figure Steve guy. He was ahead of his time. Yeah. But it will take 10 years of me going away before you guys realize. Mr. Camillo, Mr. Mint, 30 milligrams Trenbolone acetate per week was quite mellow. Hope this doesn't awaken something inside me. Well, you were on Mint before, so maybe, and you were jacked, so maybe it's, maybe you need to up the dose. But it's a good starting point. Yes. Yes. All right. Well, I agree. I don't know what you're saying yes to, but if it's yes to melanotan 1 is better than a melanotan 2, then okay, fine. Any topical, oral, or injection recommendation for a bit of loose skin around the belly? So this Mirabegron is actually tightening my skin quite a bit. Because it works on the brown adipose tissue, right? Brown fat of the adipose tissue. So it's an oral Mirabegron. I'm not sure which places sell it, and I wouldn't be able to mention it here, but do a little Google search. And it's tightening my skin. I mean, my waist is really coming in. I'll take some progress pictures next weekend before I go to Dubai. And then I'll show you guys, because the fat loss has been insane. Yeah, that's what I would recommend. There, did I make a video about tightening or thinning the skin? Yes, I have. Yes, I got a video on that too, bro. Nobody watched it because everybody's too fat to thin the skin. Ah, it is what it is. Anavar. Anavar Mirabegron. Thank me later. How big will daddy, uncle, grandpa, cousin Steve? What is that from? Cousin. Some weird sci-fi movie. Never mind. Brother Steve B for the Olympia. So I'm 230 now. I didn't gain any weight, but I lost a ton of fat. So I must have gained some muscle mass after adding in the 10 I use growth hormone before bed daily. I don't know. 240 would be nice. 240, but I gotta get lean first, man. I think with this rate, I need about 4 weeks to get it extra dicey, and then. But the problem is, of course, I'm going on holiday, and well, if I go on holiday, then all things fall apart. Right, I won't bring my GH with me, and I'll eat a little bit more freely, so I'll probably set myself back, just like when I went to China. But then I have, after Holland, when I come back, I have, when the fuck am I coming back? Let's just go from the 28th. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 weeks to my birthday, and then 2 weeks, 10 weeks. Yeah, that's more than enough. I can be 240 at the Mr. Olympia. Yeah, but I'm just aiming for 230. Right? 100 kilos was the cutoff, and a little bit over that is fine. So 230, that's what I'm aiming for. But if I end up 240, maybe some injectable Anadrol and insulin. No, for the expo. As long as I'm fucking veiny everywhere, this hole needs to be a little bit deeper. And in this chest, like this needs to be a little bit more defined. Like I still have, the other side is better. You see here, this needs to be deeper, this hole. There's still some fat here and some fat here. So let's get rid of all of that. And then we're going to go to XS nightclub, take my shirt off because the wife is not coming. Yeah, unfortunately, my wife can come because if we do implantation on August, September, then she'll probably be like, if it goes right the first round, then she'll be in the first trimester, and it's probably not good to travel. But Aaron is coming, and we already booked an Airbnb, so we'll just do a bro week out. About the ebook, I meant more of a deep dive. By the way, as far as I remember, ebooks were supposed to be offsite. Yeah, so I took them off the site for 2 weeks. And then you know how many emails I got to bring them back? Dude, after a while, I was like, fuck, dude, you guys really want this, so I put them back. Oh, they're still on the same discount, so it's not like I increased the price again or made them even cheaper. But it's and yeah, people just complain, and when they complain, you got to give them what they want, right? Maybe I should complain about the likes. Nah, you guys suck. Nobody likes my shit. You should be liking it because I'm the best steroid educator on the YouTubes. It's all one big joke, man. Steve also likes to dive deep into the Thai pink. Yes. At least 3 times a week, bro. Head first. Kaz, you are fucking out of here. Fucking spamming questions. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Let's see. Where are we? How do you spell that? Mirabegron. There you go. I'll link the Wikipedia page. And again, all credit goes out to the guy that super chatted and 2 weeks ago. I'll get his. It was some doctor or physician. He's like, I prescribed this to my clients, and it's a great fucking fat burner. You should give it a try. I was like, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Don't mind if I do. Take some more fucking drugs. But it does work well. Of course, how much fat loss I'm getting from the growth hormone or the Mirabegron, I'm not entirely sure. But the skin thinning, like, I would expect to hold a fuckload of water until I use a growth hormone. Not happening. A little bit of ankle edema if I don't do my cardio. But besides that, man, it's going really well. I've been using Tren Ace up to 250 milligrams weekly and felt like a psychopath. Yeah, me too. Even at 1,000 milligrams Tren Ace weekly, I felt like a god in the gym. But it sometimes felt a little bit weird dealing with certain situations. 30 milligrams for 6 weeks feels similar to me as 50 milligrams mint, only with better visual changes. Mints make me strong. Yeah, mint is mostly for strength, from what I've heard. Anecdotal reports, I haven't tried it yet. And Trenbolone, of course, is for recomping. Mostly. They won't let me speak on Leo. I miss that man. Yeah, it's, I got so much shit during that time, and so I blocked certain words that have to do with Leo. I mean, the content I miss, but I don't know. He was very troubled, man, towards the end. Very. So, well, it's good that you guys never got to meet the guy behind the Leo Longevity channel. Because that guy had fucking issues, man. Still very sad to hear what happened, and nobody ever got a straight answer on what happened. But and I'm glad I exited before it got really bad. Let's see, where are we? Steven Jackson, how quickly does Tren Ace work? Oh, well, within the first injection, it has a very short half-life of maybe 2 to 3 days. So I would say the second day you should already feel it. Yeah. But if you don't have any experience with Tren Ace, it might take a week before you notice it. But it will work very fast, man. Lex Leather. Oh no, the cankles. Yeah, I got some cankles. It's terrible, but it is what it is. What do you expect until I use a growth hormone? I mean, I've seen some cankles on bodybuilders. Why do you think everybody is wearing Jordans? Show me a bodybuilder that doesn't wear Jordans. Show me a bodybuilder that doesn't wear high socks. It's the height, the cankles, bro. You should feel Tren immediately. Yeah, especially if you do it near a vein and then you get Tren cough. That's terrible, man. What is my training style like? High volume, lower volume, high intensity. I don't know, I would say medium volume, high intensity. So I would do maybe 6 to 8 working sets per body part, sometimes 10, depending on how I feel. I go by how I feel, so my workouts are quite flexible. So let's say today I did hamstrings, glutes, adductors, and calves. For hamstrings, I did a couple warm-up sets on the lying leg curl. Then I did one working set at about 6 to 7 full reps, and then 3 to 4 partials. Can't really remember. I don't really count at that point anymore. I just do like full reps with a static hold at the top of about half a second, full second. And then after a while, I can't do the static hold anymore. Maybe after 6 reps, no more static holds. And then you do like 1 or 2 full reps and then partials. So you basically go to full failure to the point you only can move it like a little bit. And then you drop it, or I dropped it with about 80% of the working weight, and then I went to 12 reps with maybe 9 full reps and 3 partials. So how many static holds were that? Maybe 6 also, right? Because you're a little bit fatigued. Then I did seating, leg curls, no warm-ups, just go straight into the working set, full stack. I think also 6 full reps with static holds, and then maybe 3 just normal reps, and then 2 or 3 partials, and then I dropped the weight to 80% and did the exact same thing. Then I did a ductor machine full stack, 12 reps with static holds, all 12, and then I dropped it. I did 12 reps again with static holds, and a little pause at the stretch position. Then I wanted to do stiff-legged deadlifts, but in the muscle factory they moved all the weights, and I can't be fucking bothered to get all the weights to the thing. So they got a weight boy, which is great. Like, all the weights are organized now, but that means that all the heavy weights are on one side of the gym, and they put the plastic plates at the leg press area, which means you can't load up the leg machines. You can only put like 6 plates on there instead of 8 or 9, what I usually use. So I'll have a talk with the owner. It's a bit stupid. So I did the V squat instead. I loaded that thing up with equivalent of 8 plates. And then I did stiff-legged deadlifts, 1 set of 12 reps. And then I wanted to put chains on there, but that didn't really work. We have 100-pound chains. So that's the equivalent of 10 plates, which is almost close to my max of 11 plates. But again, with the plastic plates, it doesn't really fit on there. So I did 6 reps, which were a little bit sloppy. And I felt my right lat pop a little bit because you're really holding into it, because otherwise you're basically slipping out because there's so much pressure on your shoulder. And then I did another set with an equivalent of 8 plates worth of weights for about 7 or 9 reps, 7 to 9. I can't remember. It felt quite heavy. So that's 4 exercises in 8 working sets. Then I did reverse hyperextensions, 3 plates per side. Reverse hyperextensions. 3 plates per side, 2 sets. Once was 15, second one was 12. So that's 10 working sets. Then I did abductor machine for the upper glutes, get that glute shelf going. My wife likes it. Great grabbable material back there. Like, you're just like, ooh, meaty. The 2 things that need to be grabbable during intercourse: the upper buttocks and the chest. And if you got those 2, if it's grabbable and they can hold on to you while you're performing the arts, then it's well. Alex Carrera, please confirm. Alexander Carrera, please confirm. Anyway, we're getting off topic now. This is the only female in the chat. And then I did 1 set on the glute bridge of 3 plates. I think I got 9 reps. I was pretty fatigued. And then I did a couple sets on calves. Nothing serious. So I did maybe 13 working sets over a 1 hour and 15-minute period. And then I did calves, which I usually run through pretty fast. I don't really go to failure, but just a lot of static holds and stretches. And that worked quite well. So that was today's workout, done in 1.5 hours. Brutal. Most of the time I'm just slanging weights around, doing steps in between my working sets, and just go to town. Yeah, 2,800, 2,500 calories per day. Still getting it done. Johnny, so what do you mean, Steve? No, me and Leo had a falling out when he came to Thailand. And I mean, we had to distance ourselves from Leo after the police report came out. And, maybe in hindsight, we should have said something. But we were waiting for him to reply to that police report that his wife, or that got released, that his wife filed, which then he had a lackluster reply to it. And me and Derek were waiting for some sort of reaching out from him, which never happened. Then he came to Thailand and he started bad-mouthing me and releasing all kinds of private information, which I was like, why are you doing that? I mean, I was not the one who had a falling out with his wife and had a police report and then traveled all over the world. And he came to Thailand, and so that didn't really sit well with me. And after a while, I asked him, it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? So we had a falling out. And then at one point, he passed away, a couple months later. So no, we were not friends, man. And I think I was very adamant on that, that we had a falling out. Um, yeah, and would we ever be able to talk it out? I'm not entirely sure, man. That falling out was pretty brutal. Uh, and as B, how to piss negative on a doping test while being juiced in a messed up country, Zuiderbuur. Bleach, meds, to mask. Bribe your doping officer or pass urine of somebody else. That's the only way. That's the only way. It's bribe your doping officer. Everybody has a price. I mean, they're all humans. So, or pass a urine sample from somebody else that you collected in the morning. Then you have to strategically pour that into the doping cup. But there's no masking agents, man. There's no masking agents when you're juiced to the gills, or at least not to my awareness. Uh, 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 uh. Do you think Leo started using it again? I'm not entirely sure, man. I'm not entirely sure. It's I didn't keep tabs on Leo or what he was doing. You know, I was a little bit disappointed that he was drinking heavily, obviously, because that was during the time that me and Derek were trying to look for him. I remember that period where he was disappeared for like 2 weeks, and then behind the scenes we were desperately looking for him, contacting people in Los Angeles to go visit his house because, well, as an affiliate, Derek obviously had his home address because he needed to send supplements, and weirdly nobody in LA wanted to go by. And then at one point Leo popped up again, and that was the exact same period where he had all these problems with his wife, and his wife filed for the police report. And then I pulled him aside and I asked him, said, dude, whatever you're doing, man, if you have problems with the wife, just whatever you do, don't fall into bad habits like before, right? Because then you're going to this downward spiral, and at this point you're, somewhat of a celebrity, right? So you got to be in your best behavior. He's like, yeah, no worries. And he was a little bit offended that I even suggested it. And then the police report came out that he was drinking heavily. So that was, a bit disappointing. So I don't know what he was doing in Thailand, man. I mean, you have to ask Tony Huge. He was staying with Tony. So don't be sorry, man. I mean, this is life. This is life. Like, people come and go. Some people turn out to be super, super nice that you never expected, and some people just turn out to be not what you thought they were. So, me and Derek are cool, man. We talk all the time on the private chat that we have. It's a shame that BioBros is kind of over. Like, I would love to do another BioBros episode, and I asked Derek many, many times to proceed with Alec Petrevsky, who's a great contribution and the third host, but we just can't seem to piece it together. So I think BioBros is over. This is why I started the Anabolic Roundtable, because me, Kurt Havens, and Dr. Dean St. Mart have a great synergy. And it's something similar, right? I mean, a lot of people asked about it. Of course, it's more bodybuilding orientated because Dean and Kurt are mostly into bodybuilding, which I'm always telling them to diversify a little bit. And of course, me, Derek, and Leo had great synergy because it was very diverse, but also very intelligent. And I think it could have been the best fucking podcast on the planet if the police report didn't showed weird things, and Leo could have come back from that, but he didn't come back, and it only spiraled downwards. So it's a shame. It's a shame, but this just teaches you that online relationships are not always the same as or people portray to be something online, what they do something entirely different in the real world. So you always got to be careful, man. So I became very, very selective on who I collaborate with after that because I don't want that shit to happen again. Yeah. So yeah, me and Derek are cool, man. I only met him once though. Only met him once. Logan, following up with the 19 horse question, since you deducted my gyno as progesterone related, would adding in 50 milligrams of DECA to my HRT protocol just be a loaded gun without gyno surgery? Bummer. I love the benefits. Yeah, it could be. But then again, the progesterogenic signaling of nandrolone on the receptor side is significantly less than Trenbolone. If you, excuse me, let me see. Where's that Wikipedia page where everything is indexed? There it is. So nandrolone's affinity for the progesterone receptor compared to progesterone is 20, whereas Trenbolone is 75. So it's 1, 2, 3, 3.5 times more potent. Now, if you go to milligrams for milligrams, obviously 50 milligrams nandrolone would be the equivalent of 15 milligrams Trenbolone. And if you were running, what was it? 25, I can't remember, but you were running 25 milligrams of Trenbolone, you would need to run 25, let's say times 3.5, 90 milligrams of nandrolone. So maybe you'll be able to get away with 50 milligrams of Deca. And keep in mind, right, in the beginning, you just get inflammation and puffy nipples. So if you run 50 milligrams of Deca for, let's say, 4 weeks or 6 weeks, then you get puffy nipples, you take it out, and the gyno will subside to whatever you had previously, as it did in my case. But yeah, and if the benefits are too great, then just have the surgery done. It's easier said than done because obviously it costs thousands of dollars and it's surgery. Have hereditary pancreatitis, any studies on Primo affecting the pancreas, lab level specifically? Not that I remember reading anything in the scientific evidence, but I don't think it's been studied in pancreatitis. And I've never seen primobolan increase pancreatic enzymes or lab markers on anybody. Might happen with GLP-1 receptor agonists like lipase, amylase, protease levels might increase. Those are all stemming from the pancreas, and of course, GLP-1s might cause pancreatitis. So you would be best to avoid it, or at least do some research on it. But Primo, no. Again, if the Primo is synthetic carrier oils and you got systemic inflammation, which can exacerbate the hereditary pancreatitis, which is very susceptible to inflammation, obviously, then your high sensitivity C-reactive protein might be off. And the Primo, you can just switch from underground lab to pharmaceutical, which will be significantly more expensive, but well worth the money. Jimmy's son, thank you. Fair enough. Yeah, it's just, I mean, for the guys who didn't have any clarification on that subject, that's just basically what happens, or at least the Reader's Digest version of it. Yeah. What can you say, man? It's people lose their minds in Thailand, or at least in Pattaya. So I would not stay long there. To answer another troll, one progesterone, prolactin, IGF-1, cruising bridges, post-psychotherapy, all 4 are fantastic. What are you on about? I see you're sending a boatload of messages. Send me an email and use the personalized advice by email service, because of these messages that you're sending, I think it's better if we discuss this in private over email. You'll probably get away with a 10-minute personalized advice by email rate. 10 minutes is probably what we get done, but this is too much for a vigorous Q&A, buddy. You're doing 25 or 50 milligrams Mirabegron. I did 50 milligrams right off the start based on the clinical dosages. That's basically the starting dose. It's quite stimulating, though. So you might want to start at 25 milligrams once or twice per day. Yeah, so I'm running 100 milligrams per day, split into 2 servings, 50 milligrams in the morning, about an hour before fasted cardio, and 50 milligrams in the afternoon when I do a workout, about an hour before. But, you know, feel free to start with 25. And then ramp up the dose. Liam, $1. Preference on aromatin versus Arimidex and why? Come on, dude. Watch the aromatase inhibitor deep dive. I just released this. What are you doing? For $1, I'll link you to Vilio. I prefer aromatin because it doesn't raise cholesterol levels. And that's about it. Arimidex does. Andrew Garcia, what do I do with all this Anavar that's actually the Anabol that I've accumulated? Wasn't it Winstrol that makes you lethargic, or was it somebody else? Is there a place for it in an intelligent design cycle? Well, I'm not sure what your Anavar is, the Anabol or Winstrol or something else. So why don't you have it tested at Januszek and then and plan accordingly? If it's the Anabol, maybe pre-workout twice a week, and if it's Winstrol, you save it for a cutting phase when you're below 6% body fat. And then yeah, then take it from there. You watch the video. All right, then you know the answer. I prefer Aromacin because it doesn't raise cholesterol levels like Arimidex does, and it controls estradiol levels just fine. So that's the reason. Holy shit, $25. I'm having disc replacement surgery in my neck, ACDF C6. All right, doctor says no working out for 7 weeks. How long should, until I start seeing significant muscle loss, and any way to keep current gains or mitigate the loss? I would say within 2 weeks, 3 weeks of immobilization, because if you're immobile and you have this neck brace, it goes away real fast when you're healing from surgery. When I broke my leg in a motorcycle accident, my right leg, which was broken, was completely atrophied in 4 weeks. It was fucking insane. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, it was fucking gone, dude. It was straight. And the left leg, this was before I even started hopping around, because I was using, the canes. My left leg was normal size 4 weeks later, and my right leg was fucking gone. So just expect to lose a lot of muscle mass. Hormone replacement therapy and a little bit of growth hormone will help. Obviously, BPC 157 and TB 500 will help with the recovery. You can use topical palmitate GHK or GHK copper to help with the incisions. And then maybe 20 milligrams of Anavar to stimulate collagen synthesis while you're also taking supplemental collagen. Just eat healthy. Don't be discouraged. All of the muscle will come back super fast as soon as you get back to the gym. So just go through the recovery process. Maybe take TRT, a little bit of Anavar and growth hormone just to help with recovery, right, of the surgery and maybe the healing peptides. And then as soon as you go back to the gym, you just start working out. I'm sure within 6 weeks, everything will be back, man. Really, don't worry about it too much. I was off cycle for a year, right? hCG monotherapy. I shrank down to 92 kilograms. And then within 6 weeks, I was 100 kilograms again. Was I 120 kilograms again? If I wanted to, I'm sure I could have been 120 kilograms in 6 weeks with insulin and high growth hormone and a boatload of food. But I'm just trying to stay lean. So I think I gained 10, 12 kilos on the scale of muscle mass in 6, 7 weeks. And I lost body fat, 4 kilos. So this is why I only gained 8 kilos on the scale. So it comes back super fast, man. Don't worry about it. After you can work out again for after 7 weeks and you slowly start ramping it up, I think you'll have your old physique back 7 weeks later. So you'll have a downtime of 3 months and then you can get back to it. And it's a lot of time to catch up on video games, man. Yeah, the Elden Ring just has a new DLC. So Chris, get that DLC for the next super chat and just enjoy yourself, man. And you know what's funny? If you take 6 weeks off, 7 weeks off from the gym, significant, right? All those micro injuries that you have will be gone. You'll feel so refreshed and you'll be so motivated getting back to the gym. And TRT, you'll experience significant muscle loss. Maybe do a little bit of cardio, some swimming if possible, right? That's low impact. But don't worry about it, man. Muscle memory is a beautiful thing. And if you're on a little bit of steroids and then some, then everything will come back and you'll be fine. Mr. Camillo, Aromacin 2.55 milligrams per week, only for 3 weeks helps. Maintenance of estradiol with dimethyl keeps me slightly over the reference range. 55, 60 picograms per milliliter is comfortable for me. Okay, that's good. That's good. I guess you guys are chatting amongst yourself. All right, guys, let's wrap it up here because I've been going on for 2 hours and 15 minutes, so no more super chats. Just as a reminder, back. Oh, this was not a super chat. Chris Kane, appreciate the answer. Kind of stressed about it. Thank you, Elden Ring, for me. Yeah, just go do that. Everybody starts super chatting now. Fuck, guys, slow down. Let me go to bed. Chris, good luck, man. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Don't worry about it. Get recovery done, and then you go back to the gym without any neck issues, and then you kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm sure you're all out of gum. JVSO0302, most recent blood work, red blood cell count 3.8, hCG 17.2. Hematocrits 50.8. I'm assuming hCG is hemoglobin. Mincorbulus Roman 95, ferritin 30, iron 74. Do you think I'm iron deficient? No, iron is in the middle of the reference range. Ferritin is a bit low, but iron is normal. Is it okay to continue to donate 2 to 3 times per year? On this blood work results, I would say yes. I would say yes. Yeah, I would say yes. Jason G, this is the last one. No more super chats. Stop. We'll do that next weekend. Hey Steve, how do you determine in a DECA and testosterone cycle which compound to use more? There are two schools of thought. It's confusing. I would use tests between 50 to 200 milligrams and whatever, or DECA in 50 to 200 milligrams, which is more than enough for joint lubrication and joint padding when you train fucking insane. And then however much test you can use with an aromatase inhibitor. Matthew Craig, I told you, no more super chats. It's fucking annoying, man. You want to go to bed and then everybody's like, oh, what about me? What about me? So I would say 250 tests and 50 milligrams of DECA as an example, or 250 tests and 200 DECA. It seems to work well. Just make sure that you have an aromatase inhibitor and you do your serum estradiol levels checked, because tests and DECA will send your estradiol levels sky fucking high. All right, Matthew, last one. Fuck you. I heard you say you prefer Semax over PT 141 for libido. Yes. Does Semax help with erectile dysfunction like PT 141? Maybe not, but it does increase your orgasm intensity. Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. ED on Masteron, even with CL, is getting blood soon. Okay. Maybe your estrogen is too low. So get your blood work done if you're running Masteron. Cialis, of course, is not a libido enhancing aid. It's a penile blood flow enhancing aid. And PT141 might improve your libido. So maybe run 1 milligram PT141 one day and then 500 milligrams or 500 micrograms intranasal Semax the next day, and see which one you prefer the most. You know, see what you prefer the most. But on the days I take Semax and oxytocin, fuck, dude, stars. There's not enough stars in Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 to describe how many stars I'm seeing. And with that, the vigorous Q&A is done. No more super chats. I will ban you for life. As a quick reminder, since I'm very close to reaching a financial milestone, I offer 20 minutes for free on a 1-hour consultation up until July the 1st. So you have, well, let's see. When I wake up on July the 1st, that's Monday. So let's say 24 to 36 hours. For this extra 20 minutes. You can split it up into 1 hour and 20 minutes or 2 40-minute blocks, right? Whatever you were, it doesn't expire. So if you want to use that a month from now, that's totally fine. But I want to reach this financial milestone. We already got 1 sale, so I just need 1 more. But if I get 10 more, I'm going to take it. So whatever happens while I'm sleeping. Chase Arms podcast, if you haven't watched it, it's linked down below. The Paul Burnett podcast will drop on Monday. And then the week after that, on July the... Come on, load. The 8th, we'll have the anabolic roundtable. It was not as long as the last time because Kurt had another consultation call. I mean, these guys are booked to the gills also, so I told them to increase the rates. My bad. Yeah, so it was 1.5 hours, and then but we addressed most of the important questions, and we'll do another episode the month after that. We'll do that monthly. hCG video is almost done. Nenderlon video will be done after that. And I wish you guys all a very, very nice weekend. Enjoy yourself. I'm going to eat a fuckload of food tomorrow because I'm starving. All right. Peace out. See you guys next weekend.